Hello, people. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. How's it going? Yes, so it's upon us today. We've got the MCT West Africa Bootcamp coming right at you today from all over the world. I'm Dara, and I'll be one of your anchors on today's show. Well, I have other interesting people joining me. I'm just going to start bringing them on right now. So we got Sajida Jimo, our,
Hello.
and we got Sir David.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Great to be here.
And in a few minutes, we'll have Sam joining us from Accra, Ghana. But before we get started, let's just have a little bit of feel of what we'll be having today before we write in the keynote. So today, well, of course, thanks to our sponsors, Microsoft, David Brown Consulting, Hashem Technologies, Covenant Technologies, Abize, Gyro Computers, Caris Cloud Archaeology, Quatley Company. Thank you all for sponsoring this event today. And our keynote will be by the very great people, Roro Preddy from South Africa. We have amazing people joining us actually from all over the world. Before I go further, you know what? Let me bring up all the greetings from all over the world. Right on the screen, we have Imo joining us. We got David. We got Abib. We got Abiodun. We got Bola. We got interesting people joining us, just all from all over the world joining us. Oh, we got Rory. Yes, that's Rory. That's right there. And you see all of the interesting people joining us today. There are a lot of comments, more than I could literally go through, but I will be getting onto the comments really pretty soon. But not to waste so much of our time, let's go ahead. Oh, before I go ahead and do that, you know what? We got one of the most interesting streamers on the African continent joining us. Hello, Sam.
Hey guys, what's up?
Alrighty. So we got a keynote coming on right about now. So I'm gonna put that right on the screen. It's gonna be for about just a couple of minutes. So let's get right on to the keynotes. Who goes in the shower? Let's get right on to the keynotes. Coming right up.
Hello and welcome to Coding in the Shower and other hilarious new developer habits. I'm your host, Rory Preddy, and I'm calling from Johannesburg, South Africa in my home office. And this session is really to tell you about some of the new innovations that Microsoft has created to let developers really empower and innovate using remote IDEs. So let's get started, and I've got a lot to tell you about. So first, a confession that I have to tell. I have been programming in the shower using my mobile device, my tablet, and prior to this, if I had a eureka moment, I would run through to my laptop, power it on, and then hope that I would remember what I had to do. But there's been a change. I can do a lot of the things that I previously could only do on a laptop or a desktop with my mobile device. So what I do is I have my mobile device near to me, and if I'm taking a shower or a bath, if I want to run a script or perform a certain action, I can just power it on, and then I get this nice little view here. So this is the view that you get if you're running the desktop view on an iPad or a tablet. And this is GitHub Codespaces. So, but the same view I can actually get on my mobile phone. Look at that. That is my mobile phone, and I'm accessing the same URL there. You can see there is my signal strength, and I've got Bluetooth on there, and I can get all of the same features. Yes, it is a little bit more difficult to use a keyboard on a device, but you can use a Bluetooth keyboard, or you can just use voice even with your device. So this talk is really, how did we get there? How did we innovate with all of that? And first they'll ask why we're doing it. Why are you coding in the bath, Rory? And later they'll ask how you did it. And so this is about how we did it and how we created a cloud IDE. So in the beginning, in 2011, we created the Monaco, a high-performance web-based editor. And we did this to be able to promote some of our technologies in playgrounds. You can see in this example here, we have the typescript.org/play playground. And it allowed people to play around with TypeScript and get IntelliSense on their coding systems without having to have a full-fledged IDE experience. It didn't allow you necessarily to compile or to have multiple languages, but it was the start. Monaco was the start. Now, Monaco still lives on. If you go onto the Azure Cloud Shell and you type code and code dot or code your project, it will actually start up the Monaco code editor. And it's a very high-performant, small, lightweight editor. But we knew that we wanted more than just that. So we started looking at Visual Studio Online. Now, Visual Studio Online was a bit more functionality. It allowed you to have different projects, different languages, and it was hosted online. You can see there's the host. It's hosted on azurewebsites.net, and it gave a little bit more features than just a basic editor. And we then looked at how could we get Visual Studio Online as close as possible to a full-fledged IDE. So what is an IDE and what is an editor? First of all, an editor is keyboard-centric, so it's focused on your keyboard. There are a lot of nice shortcuts, and it's meant to be able to edit text and content very quickly. It's lightweight and fast. It understands files and folders, so it's not really project-minded, but it understands your folder as really the project. And it supports many languages, not only programming languages with IntelliSense, but many spoken languages, English, German, Spanish. So what is an IDE then? So an IDE is more focused on projects. The files can be in multiple folders, but the project brings all of them together. They have an integrated build lifecycle. So if you're running Maven or NPM or NuGet or NUnit or any of those things, it understands how to build it and then show you exactly what your system is built. It understands code. So if you write the wrong variable, it will pass that code for you and tell you that there is problems. You can debug. The debug experience is usually absolutely great in a lot of these IDEs. You get step through, step into, step out of, and you can get hot code replace. It's a really nice feature that a lot of the IDEs currently support. You get source code integration. So as you coding and you push your code, you can get repos, GitHub repos integration. Then you get templates and wizards. So if you want to connect your code to a MySQL database or a database or an event bus, it will allow you to do that just by going click, 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 done. And then finally, you get graphical designers, being able to move widgets across your screen and being able to change and modify your graphical interfaces. So where does Visual Studio Code and Visual Studio Code Online, where did it actually come in? And it was kind of in the center. So it's not an IDE, it's not an editor, but it had the best of both worlds. It was keyboard-centric, it's lightweight and fast, it's focused more on folders than projects. It supports many languages, many programming languages and spoken languages. It understands code. So it will pass the code, and it does that using the language server protocol. So it takes that, the ability to understand code, and puts it off process in another kind of server, and Visual Studio code then speaks to that server via JSON. So it's not really part of your editor anymore. It's a different language server that does all of that processes for you. And finally, it can debug. So it's the best of both worlds, and it's lightweight and fast. So we released the first version of Visual Studio Code in 2015. Can you believe that it's been only a few years since we released Visual Studio Code, and that was a momentous occasion. Since then, we've done so many different and new innovative ways to integrate and make the development lifecycle really empowering developers. The first thing that we did was we released github.dev. So if you go into your GitHub repositories and you want to edit your GitHub repository at any given time, you can just go, instead of github.com, go to your repo and go github.dev. And it brings a Monaco editor right there for you without you having to pay for anything. So, but understand, this is a very basic code editor. It's not got all of the features of the IDEs, so you can't really build code, but it gives you the ability to have that code editing experience and on your GitHub repository. Then after that, in 2021, we released the remote development extensions, and the world will never be the same again. So first, we released the Windows subsystem for Linux, the remote, so you can actually connect into a remote subsystem for Linux and perform certain functions there. We also release remote containers. So using Docker containers or other container systems, you can spin up a container and then you can access that container. We also release remote SSH, but the shining glory is GitHub Codespaces, which is actually part of the remote development extensions. So GitHub Codespaces sits remotely, and it uses remote SSH and containers and Windows subsystem for Linux, and creates an entire IDE experience for you running on Docker, but it actually has that lightweight code editor sitting on top of Docker. So how does it work? So what is Codespaces? First of all, it's in a managed environment for any project. So you can use GitHub, but you can actually use any other project though, and you pay for the usage of your Docker instance. So when you bring up your Docker instance, you pay for the seconds that you use that Docker instance. It's fully managed on-demand dev environment. So you only pay for what you actually use. That dramatically reduce setup and maintenance. So as you bring it up, it knows, and it has been pre-set up to configure for your environment. So you can feel at home even when not at home. It synchronizes with your settings, your Visual Studio Code settings, and allowing you to have an auto-detected experience that can be configured with your settings, themes, Git identities, dot files, and roam so the experience looks and feels like local. You can develop from anywhere. Like I showed you there, I'm developing on my phone, in the bath, in the shower, in the garage. And you can develop on anything that has a browser. So on my mobile phone, I actually have a Chrome browser. And that Chrome browser allows me to develop using Visual Studio Codespaces anywhere that I can get data access. And then finally, you've got supercharged collaborative development. So you've got the full GitHub experience that allows you to have that engagement and AI assistant development support. So how much does it cost? So I am on the preview still, so I'm going to show you the preview, but you need a team or an enterprise account to really take advantage of Codespaces. And then it's built according to the cores and the RAM that you want. So in my example, I'm going to show you a 4-core, 8 gigs of RAM with 32 gigs of storage, and that's about 36 cents. I don't know how relevant these prices are currently, but it's, when I did this slideshow, it's about 36 cents per hour that you want to use it. You can go all the way up to 32 cores. So this MacBook laptop only has 16 cores with 64 gigs of RAM, and you're also charged for the storage as you progress through that. So you do need a Teams account or an enterprise account for GitHub to be able to run these machines. So how do you get started? So the easiest way to get started is to use one of the quick starts. So you can go VS Code -remote-try and the language of your choice. You can do .NET, Node, Python, and they're all stored in the Microsoft repository. So in this example here, there's the VS Code remote try Java. And with that quick start, it comes with everything that you have there. You can see there's the Docker file. Remember, that's the physical actual server that starts up with the remote container. And then the dev container.json file that you see there that we're going to go through and how to configure it is how you set up and configure your Visual Studio Code IDE. So that's the quick starts. We also have templates. So if you've got an existing project and you want to create it into a Codespace container, you just want to add a template into that. So you can go install the Visual Studio Code Codespace extension. So you can go into the marketplace and just search for Codespaces. And then once you install that extension on your local Visual Studio Code IDE, you can just go Codespaces, add development container files, and you'll get a list of hundreds of container files that are already pre-configured that will just go in and create your Docker file and your dev container file. You can also use advanced templates for those specific requirements, and those are everything from Azure to the other clouds, to Docker Compose, to functions, to serverless. You can see there's Bicep, there's functions in this example here, and you can go into the Microsoft.com/VS Code-dev-containers that is got a lot of advanced templates. But also, if you've just wanted to roll your own, you can go to any GitHub repo. As long as you have access to Codespaces, you can go into the code drop down and then just go, instead of running it locally, you can go new Codespace, and it will start up with the basic Linux Codespace. You can configure it, and then you can bring up that Codespace whenever you want. So that it really gives you the opportunity to configure your Codespace, but if you just want to roll your own, you can just bring it up in the basic Linux and then start from that. So once you have all of these cloud-hosted environments, you've got your compute, which is your Docker, you've got your network, and then your storage. And you've got your editor of choice. Now, what I don't show you here is you've got Visual Studio Code, you've got your browser, but you can also connect to it with Visual Studio. And as we progress, you're going to see more and more IDEs and terminals being able to connect it. So let's start with the compute with Docker. So first of all, it's hosted in the cloud. And it's got virtual machine isolation. When you bring up that Docker instance, it's going to isolate it there in a VNet. And it's got each environment runs on a dedicated VM, which is automatically suspended and deleted when not in use to reduce costs. And it knows how to actually, after it suspends it and recreates it, how to recreate it, because you've already configured it with that ability to create itself with that dev container.json file. And you can customize your environment with your own Docker image or a default image that you want to use. You can also use Docker Compose, so you can bring up your environment and have a MySQL database as part of your Docker instance. So your entire environment, your inner loop, is run within your code space. From a networking point of view, there's no public IP address. So it's very secure, and they're not addressable via public IP address. And how it works with that, it uses relays. So it will create a port forward, and then you have to have that relay there. It's got end-to-end encryption, authenticated and authorized. And then your clients will connect to that relay if it wants to transmit data through that relay. From a storage, then it uses the Git as the single source of truth, but it also uses disk storage to store your local files and your Docker instances there. It's got dedicated storage, and it is encrypted at rest. Your configuration, it uses GitOps. So the process is very similar to what you normally use with GitHub. So as you have your project, the actual configuration files are stored inside your Git repo, and it's secured by default. You've got your dev container.json that exposes your ports, your client machines, and customizes your environment. So here's an example of a dev container. You can see here in the image, I'm using the base image for the Java 11 called Bullseye, and I've got some configuration file settings saying install Maven, the version that I want, or install Gradle. I've got some settings there, my Java home, my Maven executable path, and then I've got my extensions. So this is my dev container, and it's going to set up everything for my Visual Studio Code instance. So I want to install the Java pack, and I also want to install the Azure pack, because in the demo, I'm going to show you how to get started with Java and then push my file and my project into Azure. I'm going to open up port 8080. And that is the only port that is going to be available to my application. I'm going to show you how to debug using that port. And the user I'm going to use is VS Code, and that's the same user that the Docker file uses for local administrative access. In my Docker instance here, this is quite a simple container here, and it uses the JDK 11 Bullseye, and then I install Maven and also Gradle and Node. The port there, so once I have that and I've started our instance, you can always change the port, and you can just right click in there and go stop forwarding port or forward a port or open in browser, and it allows you to do a debugging experience. So in here you can see on your device you've got your code editor. It could be VS Code desktop or a browser or any instance or my mobile phone, and then I'm going to connect via the VS Code extension host, which runs all of your extension. And remember, those are the remote extensions that we ran there that we showed. That was one of those innovations. Now, that will host your app being debugged, your project. And as you're debugging your project, it's going to forward the port with a relay to your browser, so you can actually do your debugging. And then you can go, look how nice that is, my cool debug. And you might also want to have database access there, and that's a non-forwarded port. And everything runs in that sense in an inner loop. So you can see here, I've got my inner loop here where I've got code, test, and debug in Codespaces with my dev cluster. And that is run with source requests and pull requests in GitHub. But I might also want to use GitHub Actions to do my build, and then also my deploy of my resources into my Azure systems here, into my staging or production. Also, I want to provision my resources using Terraform. All of this runs in GitHub Actions. You can use Azure policies to drive compliance. And then you've got monitoring, built-in monitoring and logging for your production and your staging environments. So now we're going to start a demo, and I'm going to show you how to get started using Visual Studio Code, Codespaces, and using Java. So I've got everything kind of set up here, and I want to show you first where you would get started with the repo. So in this repo here, I've got Microsoft, the GitHub account, and I've got VS Code remote-try-Java. And I'm just going to use this template. Remember, you don't have to necessarily use Java. You can use any of the templates here. I'm going to go use this template here, and I'm going to call this Rory demo. I'm going to make this public here, and I'm going to go create repository from templates. It's not going to do much for me because all it's going to do is just create a GitHub repo here. But I'm going to use some innovation. And remember, I said I wanted to show you multiple tools. So now I've got this application, but I want to change my dev container.json. So I can either do it here and go into that file there and go edit it. But I can also go into this project, and instead of going github.com there, I can go github.dev. And this creates the GitHub web editor. Now I can do basic editing here, and this is the Monaco editor, and now I can go in. Now this is connected to my GitHub repo. I don't have to do any real push and pull because I'm actually physically on my repo here. And I just want to add two settings to my dev container.json. I want to add the extensions, and then I want to add the port forwarding. So if I go into my files here, it is going to activate the extensions here, and it takes a few seconds because this is a full-fledged code editor that is running right now. So while this takes a few seconds here, I'm going to go back into github.com here, and I'm going to show you, there we go. It has taken a few seconds there. So let's go start here. And in my dev container.json, I've got all of these settings here, and I've got my Java code pack, but I want to add the Azure pack. So I want to do a live demo where I'm going to push this into Azure. So there, I've added my code pack, and then I want to open up my ports. So this is JSON, so it needs to have some nice indentation. And then I'm going to go port 8080. That's all I really need to do here. I'm going to go make sure that this is saved. Autosave's already on. And then I'm just going to go commit, and I'm going to go for a demo and then commit. I don't have to really push it because it is in part of my demo. So if I go into my repositories now, you'll see at the top of my repository, it actually should show, there's my Rory demo there, and it should show that there's my 4 demo there 11 seconds ago. Now I've got my repo, I've got my dev container.json. I can go into my repository here, and then I can go code, and you can see local, but Codespaces. So I'm going to go new Codespaces. And this is going to start up a Codespaces instance using the Docker file that I specified. So let's make this a little bit bigger here. And it's going to say building the container. It's found the image that you're going to do. And it's going to give you a little URL at the top there about the container that you're going to use. So you can go view logs here. And now it's actually going to show me it's installing Maven. And then it's going to install Gradle. And then look at that. It's installing Node. And it's going to set up all of the settings that I need for my Visual Studio Code instance also there. It's creating a persistence share with Docker. It's trying to connect to that Docker instance. So now it's going to connect to my Docker instance, and then it's going to start to configure my application. There it is. It started to configure my application. Now it's got a very basic Java project that I've got here. And you can see here I've got a Java main app file here. It's a very, very basic Java. It just says hello remote world. And when I click here, you can see it's already starting to go language mode Java. But this is a very, very basic part of the Java language server. This is called AnyCode. And you can see it started up very quickly. So I want to actually get it to do the full language server. So the first thing I want to do is I want to go Maven install. I want all my libraries there so it doesn't get any confusion around any of those libraries. And you can see how fast it is there. It's on the hard fiber line to the worldwide internet. That is really, really super fast then. So it's got all my libraries then. And I do find sometimes that I want to do a refresh here because there's a lot of Maven libraries that it is there. So I'm just going to hit refresh. Now notice when I refresh, it knows exactly what my state is of my application. I don't have to worry about refreshing or like losing the state of my application. So there's my application. Now I can actually right click on my app and go run Java, and it will say, do you want to open up in the full Java language server? I want to go yes. And now it's going to switch on that full Java language server mode and not use the AnyCode. So the AnyCode is just for IntelliSense. I want to show the full Java language server mode there. And now it's imported my project. You can see there, projects are imported to the workspace. And it's going to give me that nice Java view here. If I go to Java projects, there's my app there that I have. So it should actually come there and say, hello remote world. So now that's how quick it was to actually start a Java project. But I want to do a little bit more than that. I actually want to run a Spring project. And so I'm going to go into my terminal, and I'm going to go curl, so allow there. So I'm going to go curl start.spring.io. So if you don't know start.spring.io, so it's start.spring.io, it actually lets you curl or download or generate a project. And I'm going to generate a project using JPA, which is the Java Persistence Archive, the web. So I want to create a REST call, and then also I want to create let's go see here. Oh yeah, a built-in H2 database, which is an in-memory database. So I just want to hit enter here, and that's going to download everything here. And I do want it to rebuild the Maven file. And now everything is downloaded with the new Maven file. I'm going to go Maven install again, install. And it's going to go download all of those Maven repositories for that Spring application. I want to delete my other projects there, the old ones. So everything that says my company, I'm going to go delete permanently there. And then the source main Java, I also want to delete the my company packages there. Let's run that again there, and let's go Maven install, and it should actually run through. And now I've got my application, and I can literally from this point here go in and start coding my application. So if you see there, it started my Spring application up there. It had my H2 database, and now I've got my application, but I've got nothing in my application. So I want to go in and create a to-do application, which is just basically a very simple to-do REST system there. So I'm going to use some test-driven development. So I'm going to paste this here, and in this to-do here, I'm going to go get buy milk, eat pizza, write tutorial. I'm going to have some to-dos, set the description, and then save it into my repository to my built-in database. But I'm going to use some IntelliSense here, so there's no class there called to-do. I'm going to go quick fix and create that class to-do. I also don't have a to-do repository, so I'm going to go quick fix and create class to-do repository. Now I've got my to-do here, and I'm just going to paste in some code here for my to-do. And my to-do has a is done, set details, and get description. And it's an entity here. As you can see there, I've got an entity, and so it is a JPA entity. So it knows how to store itself in the database. In my to-do repository, it's also kind of bland here. So I'm going to go into my to-do repository here and just paste in some code here. And this is going to just extend a JPA repository. I do need a REST service. So I'm going to go here to do controller.java. And then I'm going to just go into my to-do controller, and I'm going to copy this code in here, and I've got really just two REST calls here: create to do and get to dos there. So I'm going to add a little breakpoint there. I'm going to go maven install again, get everything nice and compiled, make sure all my code is compiling, and then I'm going to go in debug, because I want to show you local debug. So I put a debug on find all there. So on my Java project here, I want to go in and call all my REST services. Now, in my application, I'm going to create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and to-dos, and I'm going to go in and debug that application. So I can right-click on my Java project there and go debug, and it should actually start it up and with a relay port, and this is in the browser. So I'm going to debug and relay it inside the browser and open up another browser call to be able to debug. You can see there's my Spring service. It's going to start up, and it's going to hook into that browser port, open in the browser, and now you can see there it's untitled, and it should actually break in the browser, connecting to the forwarded port. There it is. It broke there on my to-do controller. Look at that. I'm debugging in the browser. Now I can step over or step into. I'm just going to carry on and continue here. So I can go continue, and it's returned all those REST calls that I have there. And there's my to-do: buy milk, eat pizza, write tutorial, learn Azure, go kayaking. Pretty simple now to chuck this over to Azure. I'm going to go into my application here, and then I'm going to right-click on my application, deploy to web app, and in the it's going to say add config, that I want to add the config here. Now it's going to give me a lot of options. I want to go stop that there for a second. It's going to give me a lot of options that I can actually go in and deploy to, but it knows exactly where my application is and the jar, because I built it with Maven. So I want to sign in with Azure here. I'm going to sign into Azure. I'm going to choose my Microsoft account. You might have a different account there. And then it's going to go in and let me go and create my application. So I'm going to create a new web app. I'm going to use the advanced settings here. And I want to create quite a few settings there. So I'm going to call this here Rory Demo RPZA. I'm going to create a new resource group with the same name. The runtime stack, I'm going to choose Java 8, because I did create that in Java 8. It is a Spring application, so Java SE, which is Spring compliant. Then I'm going to go Linux for my operating system. Location, I'm going to choose West Europe, which is the closest to me. West Europe, an app service plan, and that's the physical tin that you're going to run your Azure instances on. You can have multiple apps on that, so I'm going to choose the same name. I'm going to choose P1v2 for my application. I'm going to create a new application insights resource, and that is if I want to use distributed tracing, so I'm going to create that. Now it's going to go in and create my app service plan for me, and then all my resources. And once it's finished that, it's going to run my build again for me, because it knows it's a Maven build file, and then it's going to go in, take my jar file that it creates from that Maven build, and go and FTP, or if you're using one of the new servers, the P3 servers, it's going to use the REST services to go deploy your application. At the same time, this GitHub Git Codespaces is part of many GitHub Codespaces that I am currently hosting on my GitHub repo. So let's show you that for a second while this is taking a few seconds to come there. And I am going to go Rory P here. So you can access your GitHub repositories and your Codespaces under your Codespaces. So if we go into your Codespaces, you can see there's my Rory demo, and it updated 10 minutes ago. And I can go in there and I can go open in the browser, open in Visual Studio Code. Now, if I open in Visual Studio Code, it's going to allow me to remotely connect to my Codespace. So Visual Studio Code is just going to be a dumb terminal. So it means that I can run on my 16-core, 32-core CPU with Visual Studio Code. I can export changes to a branch. I can change the machine type. I can stop the Codespace, or I can actually go delete. So let's open up port 8080. It's asking me to do port 8080, and it's going to say, do you want to deploy that jar? And I want to say yes. So now it's finished creating my Azure application service. Now it's going to run through the build process that we did create with our Maven archetype. You can see here, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. So yeah, this is my project here that I created. I've got the Spring Boot Starter JPA. Let's minimize there. I've also got the Spring Boot Starter Web. Remember, we did JPA and web. And then finally, I've got the test and then H2. And then when it creates it, it's actually going to create a jar file called 0.0.1 snapshot with the name of the artifact. And then that is going to be in our target folder here. So if you go into our target folder, there's the jar file there. So this Codespaces is pretty clever. You can see that it's deploying to my application, and I can check the output window there, and it's going to tell me exactly when it's going to be finished. Now, there it is. So I'm going to stream the logs quickly here. So now I can stream the logs into my application service, and it's going to tell me when my Spring Boot application started up. You can see there it's starting up, starting the servlet engine, the root context, the Hibernate core using H2 dialect, and we want to see how when it's finished. There we go, starting demo in 16 seconds. And now we want to go in and we want to access the REST service here. And we can do that with the Azure window here. So if you go to the Azure here, you can see there's app service. You can access a lot of those services there. So you can go in here. There's my Rory demo. And you can deploy your application, or you can right click and you can go open portal or browse website. So I just want to browse the website here, and I should be able to get my to-do, and there's my services there, my to-do services. So you saw today how easy it was to actually get started with the demo here. And I want you to all go in, and you can access that demo on aka.ms/codespaces-quickstart, or snap that QR code there. Thank you so much today, and you can follow me on Rory Preddy on @RoryPreddy, and cheers everyone.
Awesome. I hope that was an intriguing, keynote introduction for all of us. Right now, almost all the other sessions have started simultaneously. So we have the data track, we have the M365 and Power Platform track. I mean, there's a lot of content that within this couple of days that we're going to show to you guys. But I'm interested to know, what's your take on, being able to write code, to build solutions and build applications pretty much from everywhere. I mean, as Roy demonstrated, definitely coding in the shower. And for most of us, you get a lot of these, Eureka moments when you're in odd places. But let's bring, the other panelists on. Let's quickly talk about this before we transition to, the other streams. What do you guys say? I mean, for me, that was amazing, to see how it's grown over the years, how it pretty much interact and build solutions across. Very soon, I mean, from our phones and other stuff, we can pretty much develop. I mean, what's your take on that?
I want to code from my watch.
Apart from the keyboard restrictions, I mean, but that's very possible. I mean, I see a lot of potential in there. I don't know what your take. I mean, you could probably share your moment on that, and we can go to the audience watching us, for them to bring in their comments and questions, and then we can probably talk a little bit about it.
Do you want to say something?
Yeah. Well, it's pretty intriguing. Seeing from your phone, you could connect to your laptop, you could connect to the cloud, you could use all of those same tools across each of those devices. I think it should pretty much be not only code from the shower, but basically code from anywhere, from the old, from the anywhere basically you are. And I think the next step basically it's coding from your wristwatch. Just like you said, that that's pretty much where everything is going to come to at last. Pretty much you just need to talk, and the code is all being written for you.
Yeah, sure thing. And I think it's become a world where we can literally do anything. I remember when we started learning to code. I can remember I started coding on a 1 gig RAM laptop. Now that's even lesser than what I have on my phone today, and it's just interesting to see that power is now in our hands, and we can literally do anything from anywhere. And we have all this cloud too, so you literally don't need to have a powerful machine. All you need is a browser and a device, and you're good to go to just do anything you want, which I think is really interesting. And I tell everyone, nobody has an excuse not to learn how to code these days at all.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you. The resources are very accessible now. A lot of stuff you can do on the cloud. You don't need heavy machines. So there's been times where you are like, okay, all I need is a way to, get myself onto the next terminal or the next ID to use. So technically, you don't have any excuse.
And I remember the IDs we used to download them would be 8 gigabytes, and I'll be struggling, having to go under some tree somewhere to go find, the network is strong here. We want to download this. Right now, we don't need to do that anymore, which is really super duper cool.
Yeah.
And so currently now we have 3 other tracks running alongside this. So this place here will just be for us discussing stuff. So if you want to learn Azure, you can go to the Azure track. Let me just put the links to the different sessions in chat one more time. Of course, Keynote is pretty much where we are now. And then you can go ahead if you want to do the Azure track. Azure track is ongoing now where we're having discussions. There's also the M365 Power Platform track where you learn about Microsoft 365 deployments and all those kind of things. And the Power Platform, which is really super duper cool. You don't want to miss that. And then, of course, there's also the Data, AI, and IoT track, which is currently ongoing. Right in there, you're talking about non-relational databases, which is kind of super duper cool. And we have people watching us from all over Africa today. We have watch parties. There are tweets going on. So if you go on to the hashtag MCTWAB 2021, I'm just going to put that in chat also. MCTWAB 2021. So if you want to get your chat featured, you can literally put that on the screen also. Yeah, pretty much. We're ongoing. So currently now we have lots of I almost missed it. Sam, the freebies that will be given away after the event.
Yes. I mentioned I mentioned it in the tweet. There are lots of goodies to be giving. There are Xboxes, and
let me show them the Xbox.
Yes, you guys can show them the Xbox. The Xboxes to be won. There are a lot of mentorship and free sessions and tutorials also to be won. So make sure, yes, and there you go. Yeah, this is one of the Xboxes that is going to be won. So make sure that 2 of them there. So make sure you're registered. Make sure you join the session, and then you fill the evaluation forms after every session or every track. That enters you into the raffle and the opportunity for you to win one of those Xbox. So don't forget to do that. Make sure you're registered. Fill up, the evaluation form after every session, and then you stand a chance of winning an Xbox.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes, Olamipo, so you can move on to the other sessions now to learn about it. So it's just we'll be having sort of tidbits for everyone just coming on and to be able to direct them to the other streams to go learn more about stuff. So let me just go ahead and show the things that will be going on today pretty much. So we have the Azure track, and there's the agenda for that. So currently now, we got folks talking about HR metrics analytics. And that is being anchored by Deji Folari and Olanrewaju Oyinboke. Right after that, we'll have Bicep, which is the new super cool thing now in Azure for deploying your resources. We have Daniel Paulos coming right after to talk about using the power of GitHub Codespaces, more like coding in the shower, but probably coding in your car as you drive. And then building modern apps with .NET 5 and Azure, talked about by one of our own, Frank Udom. And then we have David Okeyode moderation that roundtable discussions also going on about that. So those are speakers on the Azure track. That's Frank. Then we have the M365 track. we'll be talking about Teams governance, Power Platform Admin Center, Microsoft PowerShell, and Microsoft Graph API demystified. You really want to miss that, and also getting your data in Power BI. That's been moderated by one of our own, also Mr. Kofi. We call him Sir Kofi, the Bitcoin millionaire. Then moving on, just our speakers, Jimmy, Michael, Gloria, and then the data and IoT track is being anchored by Sheyi and Pabobo from China. Yeah, we got people coming in from China doing all this amazing stuff today. So we're talking about Azure Synapse, DB in the cloud, roundtable discussions moderated by these amazing people. So we also have, interestingly, watch parties. Sam, you want to take that on?
Yeah, so we have watch parties happening all across the sub-region. We have one in Lagos hosted by our own Kazim. We also have in Jos, Tabitha is hosting that. We have others also coming from Osun State, headed by okay, then we have Jos as well. We have we have Jos Collins running for Jos. We have Batunde for U State. We have Priscilla from Accra running. So if you're in Accra, you can also join the watch party live stream. And then, a whole lot. But we also want to appreciate not just the organizers, but also people that have made that, made this happen. There's a lot of work went into this, from the backside of things to, moderators, to the content, to the graphics, to a whole. There's a huge thing behind this. And we'd like to say a big thank you for, making this possible. Also to our sponsors, we're really grateful, for, all the awesome support for this project. We hope to see more, more logos and more names on this in the subsequent years, as we get better and better and better. But thanks to these people, they're making this event possible.
Yeah, I think talking about sponsors now, we have some of our sponsors that have some videos just for the attendees on this conference. So let's go ahead and bring up 4 of those videos right about now. I'll be right back to continue discussions about what's going on in the different locations.
Yomi Alarape, and I would like to tell you a bit about Rugby Business Solutions and Technologies. Rugby Business Solutions and Technologies has a vision to make the world a better place through technology, and that's what we live in and out as our culture. We start from Nigeria here. We have a crop of professionals who ensures that quality is ingrained in every service we offer. Definitely using IT technology to solve human problem and making life of everyone better. We do this across different verticals: healthcare, medical, oil and gas. I wait. It is time for you to transform your business, get the required insight, and take your business to the next level. You can give it a try by visiting our website at www.rugbysolutions.com/BSM.
My name is Temitope Aziz. I work with LASU CBT 18 as a test administrator at TCA. I work with Pearson V exams like Microsoft, Oracle, ITIL, CompTIA.
Hello, Fola Babalola is my name. I work with LASU CBT 18 as a corporate business development manager. Here in LASU CBT 18, we work with our customers to identify their training needs. We hereby recommend and offer the best IT training that can upgrade their staff skills and enhance productivities in achieving their corporate goals. Thank you for choosing us.
I'm Abdul Qadri by name. I work with LASU CBT 18 Limited. I'm responsible for the up-running of computers and the network. Thank you for choosing us.
My name is Miriam Nitu. I am the relationship officer here at LASU CBT. I basically manage the front office and the workspace. That is the LASU CBT workspace 18. We render services to clients who need to work in a serene and conducive environment during business hours, and our services are affordable and impeccable. Thank you for choosing LASSO.
Hello, my name is Bimbo Adishese. I'm a business development person in charge of IELTS and cloud offerings. IELTS is one of the top exams for foreign education worldwide. And here at CBT 18, we help your journey from beginning to the end, from point of first contact up to the end.
Welcome to LASSO CBT 18. My name is Oladele Ajay. I'm the Business Development Manager for the retail market. For LASSO CBT 18, we're into IT trainings. IT trainings such as Python programming, web development, web design, Azure, cybersecurity and all. Come down to LASSO CBT. I'm sure you'll enjoy yourself down there with us.
Hello, my name is MCTNAIJA-TECHUSERGROUP. I'm the peer-to-peer test administrator and also the social media platform manager. I would love you to follow LASSO CBT on all social media platforms. Thank you for choosing LASSO CBT 18.
Hi, my name is Kazim Adegwega. I'm the Managing Director of LASSO CBT. What we do here is not just for the short term. So what we're doing here, our service offerings here, is for the long term. And that's why we're trying to build a team of high-performing individuals that love what they do and they would like to show up at work every day to give their very best.
As an intern at LASSO CBT 18, working with them has been so wholesome. I could learn digital marketing, good interpersonal relationship and teamwork. And I urge every one of us to also learn from every enterprise we find ourselves to be an intern.
So as for young minds, students and interns that are looking for a place to learn skills, they can call me at LASSO CBT 18. LASSO CBT is the right place for them to.
For over 7 years, Macintosh Consulting has been empowering individuals, organizations, and government parastatals in information technology, business management, leadership development, and finance. Through our end-to-end training services, we help our clients achieve notable landmarks with our long-standing valued affiliate relationships with Microsoft, EC Council, CompTIA, PECB, Cisco, and AWS. Macintosh Consulting offers training and certifications in diverse areas like Network Plus, cybersecurity, cloud computing, project management, Agile Scrum, soft skills, amongst many others, with guaranteed to run classes, virtual classes, on-site classes, online classes, and customized classes. Macintosh Consulting enhances career development, promotes relevance, and ensures quality delivery. Macintosh Consulting is located in Nigeria, Kenya, and United Kingdom. Visit www.macintosh.com or call 090-381-38550 or 081-409-84158. You can also visit us at 24 Bamachili Street off Allen Avenue, Ikeja, Lagos.
Hello viewers, I'm the Operations Manager for Macintosh Consulting, and I am here to tell you about our second-to-none training services. Macintosh Consulting is a training firm that provides exceptional training services ranging from trainings, international examination and certification. With state-of-the-art practical facilities, versatile and certified professional trainers, and a well-conducive environment, we help our clients achieve notable landmarks by providing lasting solutions and development in every areas of information technology, business management, and finance to enhance their productivity. Our partners are Cisco, Isaka, EC Council, Microsoft, AWS, amongst many others. Macintosh Consulting offers services ranging from visual to classroom with both on-site and off-site trainings. Our client boasts of exceeding success all through every of their examination, and we are committed to creating even more successes. Our offices are situated here in Nigeria, Kenya, and United Kingdom. To know more about our services, visit our website at www.macintosh.com and follow us at Macintosh Consulting. You could also contact us through the information on the screen. Macintosh Consulting, shaping the future together.
All right, so that's some of the words from our sponsors. So, all the tracks are on now. So if you're watching this right now, you probably should be in one of those sessions. This is just to guide you to the other places. So there's the Azure track ongoing right now. So let me go ahead and give you the link for the one moment. Just trying to figure out what's going on in there. Yep, the Azure track. So if you want to learn about Azure, you should be going here. And if you want to learn all about Microsoft 365, the Power Platform, you should be going over here. Six, five. And then if you want to learn all about data, AI, and IoT, you should be going over data, AI, IoT. You should be adding on over here. So the sessions are going already, but don't worry if you've missed any of those parts, simply because you can always rewatch these videos from the same link that is available to you right now. So you can join in every sessions, ask questions you are having, and if you have general questions, you can ask them on here also. Hello, Usman, how you doing? So you can check any of the tracks you're interested in, and you can get in any of those. Okay, one moment.
I think I saw something in the chat. So Sandra was asking if there was a form to fill in here.
The registration form, yeah, that is if you go to mctwestafrica.com. You know what? I could just show you that. mctwestafrica.com. One moment. Let me just get a page up on my browser. It's loading up. It's loading up. So let me go ahead and share my screen. And that'll be this screen. But before I bring that on, okay, that's loading up. All right, so if you go here, this is registration form. So if you go from the top of the page down around here, this is the registration page for you to go ahead and click through, and then you fill in all your details. Don't worry, these details are not used for marketing. It's just so you can win that awesome Xbox. So if you go on there, you will be able to register just so that we can have your details and get in touch with you later on. But of course, another cool thing is you can watch the live streams from the website also. So let me scroll down and find that section on the page. If I'm as smart as I think I am. Yes. So this is a live stream. You can just hit the play button right here. So you can see my face. Come on. You can go over to the Azure track also and watch straight from the website. And then also you can watch the Power Platform track and also data, AI, and IoT track. Just in case you don't want to be fumbling with links all around, you can literally just go on to the website and you can browse through the tabs to go to each of the sessions. So let me go ahead and actually put that link also in chat for everybody.
That would be great.
Yeah, Usman is joining us from Nasarawa. Wow. Thank you for joining us. Okay, let me get my screen off your faces. So, back to discussions. Yeah, we have a watch party from Jaws. Okay, we have some more pictures coming in now. Just one moment. Let me just save those pictures before I try to show them off here. So I'm going to be showing you pictures of our event senders from all around. Yeah, just getting that right up. I'm going to be having my screen in your faces once again. Sharing my other screen now. Oh yeah, the screen is right there actually. So these are people from just joining us, watching, and we got. I'm not sure where this is, but I think this should be either Lagos or Abuja. And then we have someone in a very nice, cozy office joining us and watching from. So we got people watching from all around the world joining us. So if you're watching from anywhere on the group, you can just send us a picture or tweet it at us, and then we'll be able to spotlight it right here. In some very few minutes, some of the centers will actually be joining us live, so you can actually see the experience of what is going on in there. But right now, we actually have some tweets that are coming on. This tweet right here from David. So if you use the hashtag MCT West Africa Bootcamp 2021, MCT WAP 2021, we will be able to see your tweets and be able to retweet also. There's a lot of tweets going on, so you can see all the excitement coming on, so you can literally follow us on Twitter also, so you don't miss any part of the fun. We're not only on Twitter, but right now we are only tracking Twitter for now. But of course, you can use the hashtag anywhere. We'll gather all of them and get on to you. So I'm just trying to get in chat and see if there are questions from previously that has not been answered. So we've got folks coming in from Lagos, financial analyst that Promise joining us right there. So you should Promise should probably be in the data, AI, and IoT track. Shegun joining us from Jos. We have Ibekwe, we have Miriam Mohammed, we have Muzi, we got Femi joining us also. But of course, they'll most likely be in the other tracks right now, and I can see the charts streaming in like crazy on the different streams, which is really, really interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna just drink water now. Over to you, Chide.
Okay. Yeah. So from the chat, I saw someone talk about Roy's presentation, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. For the fact that you could just sit from your shower, from your bedroom, from your wherever you are, and basically use your mobile device. You don't need to even have a laptop these days now before you start to code, before you start to learn to code, before you start to push in applications and all of that to the cloud. From your mobile device, and that gets it all out. However, you should join one of those tracks on the M365, on the Azure, on the data and AI, and also you get more enhanced knowledge around how to leverage those capabilities even better. Yes, please go ahead, join one of those tracks. If you have a question, we'll be here to answer it from you. Thank you very much, Ifedayo, joining from Port Harcourt. We're glad to have you here.
Yeah, really glad to have you. And if Fedayo, you might want to join one of the other tracks, M365, Azure, or Data and AI. Sorry, Data and AI. I always mix that up most times. Yeah, I'm literally checking the comments from the other sessions now. I see Bengaela Bola, my friend from uni in the Azure track. I see who do I know in here? No, I do not. I do not know anybody in here also. So but they know me most likely. So I probably want to ask this question. So, Mr. Gide, when you started learning to code, probably before I was born, how was that feeling there?
So, well, I am a infra guy, or I would associate myself as an infra guy. However, one of my regrets is not learning how to code, or it's not following up with my coding skills. And the reason why I'm going to say that is just because while I was learning C#, yes, it was interesting. At the same time, it was a bit challenging, and I found myself always happy when my laptop breaks and I need to repair them myself. And that way, I just decided that, you know what, I was just going to drop the coding and then move into infrastructure directly. So it's one of my greatest regrets, career regrets, not following up with my coding. Because today there's a lot of things you can do with coding, and probably I will have been the next Bill Gates or something if I even had gone through. I'd even had followed up on the coding skills. But nevertheless, it's still a good time to be alive, especially with IT. Knowing fully well whatever solution you push out there will be used by millions and millions of people and will help lives. It's really, really interesting to be alive right now.
Yeah, and sort of knowing that you're an infra guy that does a lot of Azure, what was your first experience with Azure ever? What brought you to Azure in the first place?
So it's very, very let's say well, let me just put it that way. It's very interesting because I got to learn about the cloud. So back then I was having my training and I had this very shitty laptop. You know how those laptops used to be. It took a lot of savings from me to get a laptop. And the laptop was not just doing what I needed it to do. Most especially, I needed to virtualize it. And I was just thinking in my head, there should be something I can do. There should be somewhere I can go to that I can get a very good virtual machine and all of that. I was just fairly new to the world of virtual machine, and I came across Azure, and it happened at the same time. Microsoft was giving out free Azure subscriptions. We're giving out free Azure credits to test out, and lo and behold, my first experience with Azure was just awesome. Even though I stumbled upon a lot of things and exhausted my credit, and I got charged, and I got charged for it. But then I knew I was the one that pushed beyond my limit, and then didn't really apply. Get into the agreement of what was sent out. But it was very, very interesting to learn about, oh, this is what you could do. And the very good part of it is then we were still using, I don't know if anybody remember the old days of manage.windowsazure.com, where you could just create a create a virtual machine and a SQL database and all of that with an endpoint. And it was really interesting back then. And all of that. Yeah, very good old days.
Really good on this, really good on this. So we got break in the other sessions now. They're on a 10 minutes break in the other session. So they might maybe be joining us in here, probably David or Shay. But right now we literally have some other locations that have sent in their pictures, really interesting pictures, I must say. So let me bring those up on the screen again. We're actually waiting for some of them to join us live so we can share their experiences all together. So we'll see now this one. So we see the center, this is server lead, and then that should not be the last one. Yeah, the last bit of picture right here. So join us from all around the globe. So we are not only watching via YouTube, we're watching in YouTube. And the reason for this is we want to literally reach everyone with this technology. And that is, and I would say right now, awesome job to the watch party teams, because they're literally sacrificing their internet and devices to ensure that these people see what is going on. And I think that brings us to one of the things Sam is actually doing, tech on wheels. How's that going?
So took off. I mean, it's been a very slow start. I mean, obviously looking at infrastructure, the logistics involved. You probably will look behind me, you see some 3D printers and stuff happening. So what we're doing now is putting together the resources and logistics we need. We have we have a huge number of them already. The robotics kits are ready, the IoT kits are ready. This is one 3D printer. Two more are coming. Actually, they're already in the country. I just need to pick them up. So pretty much what we need to get started is done. But the big picture is to have a mobile van that has all these things in it, that you can move from, community to community. And then once you get there, the likes of 3D printing, all these things, virtual reality, mixed reality, all these things will be exposed to them, because we believe that it's not just taking it to the grassroots, but letting them understand, or exposing them to some of these innovations. Because if you are out there and you don't even know the existence of a particular technology, you're limited to the solutions you can create. So that's the whole concept, is to kind of like expose them the awareness of, hey, you know what, there's something called mixed reality. You can do a lot of things with it. And on the other side of things, we're also using that to pretty much expose people to things they are not aware of. So for instance, with a mixed reality headset, the kids in the rural areas that have not even gone to the airport before, they could put it on and experience the airport. Those that have not been to a zoo before, those that have probably been just hearing a lion, they could put a VR glass on, and then experience what the zoo is like. So we put a lot of things together. We'll probably officially take off, beginning of next year. That's when we officially start moving into the various communities. But for the past couple of months, we're putting, trying to get resources and things together. We are good to go now.
Super, super duper cool. So if you're in Ghana, most especially, Sam was most likely be getting to one of your villages. So get ready for him. And I hope you come to Nigeria soon with that. Yep.
Well, so the concept is not new. There are a couple of people doing similar things. Some have even done like containers and stuff like that. But the big picture is eventually we'll get to the point where we can actually replicate the model across the continent, so that you would have like people who can, because if we do it, we learn from the mistakes, we get the partnership, we get all that, then it becomes like a model. Because the big picture, imagine, you have, this huge, let's say 40-footer kind of, van, which is all solar powered, fitted with, a mobile lab that has a 3D printer, mixed reality and all that in it, that is moving, from, place to place. Over time, we want to see replications of the same things, kind of like open source it. So you want to have like, I want to see, hey, people in Nigeria, Sam, we want to do the same thing. Hey, this is how we did this, how it worked. You can take it up, build it, put it together. And these are the resources we probably used. Share that, and that can be replicated. Because obviously, look, just like the African provinces that one man's arm cannot encompass the baobab tree. I mean, it takes a whole community. You get it. So I cannot do it alone. You start small. We want to see the changes. We have to start a change from where we are, like where we find ourselves, and then bring people along to replicate the same, what we are doing to drive the change. I think it's time. It's time that we start looking at things from that perspective. Because one of the challenges I find is, for a long time, maybe because of past history, a lot of us in the sub-region or the continent find it hard to do collaborations and partnerships, just because probably they've had some bit experience before. But trust me, the way to go now is a lot of partnerships and collaborations. Look at what we're doing now. I mean, probably 5-6 years ago, this wouldn't have happened. It would just probably be just a group of people in Nigeria doing their own thing, or a group of people in Ghana doing their own thing. But over time, we realize that no, look, we can't do this alone, right? We need to put our resources, skills, and your experiences together to make this skill. So that's what I want to see, more of. Up until, and I think Dara would have a lot more insight with this. Up until a couple of years when we connected in Nigeria, our online, we were virtually, technically not known. There wasn't a lot of streamers coming from the sub region doing a lot of tech stuff. But as we said, no, let's do this, we need to do this. As we collaborated, we shared ideas, we connected. Look at what we are now. We're reaching people, we're making the change. So for me, it's good to see some of these things, and I hope to see more of it in the coming years.
Yeah, definitely. So on the other tracks we got, on the data AI and IoT track, we have Armando speaking in the next couple of minutes, and then Power Platform Admin Center is on the M365 and Power Platform track, and in about 2 minutes we'll have the Azure track bringing on Mike Van de Gag. So if you've not joined the other sessions, go ahead and join them now so you don't miss. This is just for general discussions and things, just to point you to the right places. You know what I'm talking about. So, and I think it would be a good time to take some couple of minutes break where we'll play some videos from our sponsors. We'll be right back with you.
My name is Temitope Aziz. I work with LASU CBT 18 as a test administrator at CCA. I work with Pearson V exams like Microsoft, Oracle, ITIL, CompTIA.
Hello, Fola Babalola is my name. I work with LASU CBT 18 as a corporate business development manager. Here in LASU CBT 18, we work with our customers to identify their training needs. We hereby recommend and offer the best IT training that can upgrade their staff skills and enhance productivities in achieving their corporate goals. Thank you for choosing us.
I'm Abdul Qadri by name. I work with LASU CBT 18 Limited. I'm responsible for the uploading of computers and the network. Thank you for choosing us.
My name is Miriam Mintu. I am the relationship officer here at LASU CBT. I basically manage the front office and the workspace, that is the LASU CBT workspace 18. We render services to clients who need to work in a serene and conducive environment during business hours, and our services are affordable and impeccable. Thank you for choosing LASU CBT.
Hello, my name is Bimbo Adeshese. I'm a business development person in charge of IELTS and cloud offerings. IELTS is one of the top exams for foreign education worldwide. And here at CBT 18, we help your journey from beginning to the end, from point of first contact up to the end.
Welcome to LASU CBT 18. My name is Oladile Ajay. I'm the Business Development Manager for the retail market. The LASU CBT 18 were into IT trainings. IT trainings such as Python programming, web development, web design, Azure, cybersecurity and all. Come down to LASU CBT. I'm sure you'll enjoy yourself down there with us.
Hello, my name is MCTNAIJA-TECHUSERGROUP. I'm the peer-to-peer test administrator and also the social media platform manager. I would love you to follow LASU CBT on all social media platforms. Thank you for choosing LASU CBT 18.
Hi. My name is Kazim Adegwega. I'm the Managing Director of LASU CBT. What we do here is not just for the short term. So what we're doing here, our service offerings here, is for the long term. And that's why we're trying to build a team of high-performing individuals that love what they do and they would like to show up at work every day to give their very best.
As an intern at LASU CBT 18, working with them has been so wholesome. I could learn digital marketing, good interpersonal relationship and teamwork. And I urge every one of us to also learn from every enterprise we find ourselves to be an intern.
So as for young minds, students and interns that are looking for a place to learn skills, they can come here at LASU CBT 18. LASU CBT is the right place for them to.
For over 7 years, Macintosh Consulting has been empowering individuals, organizations, and government parastatals in information technology, business management, leadership development, and finance. Through our end-to-end training services, we help our clients achieve notable landmarks with our long-standing valued affiliate relationships with Microsoft, EC Council, CompTIA, PECB, Cisco, and AWS. Macintosh Consulting offers training and certifications in diverse areas like Network Plus, cybersecurity, cloud computing, project management, Agile Scrum, soft skills, amongst many others, with guaranteed to run classes, virtual classes, on-site classes, online classes, and customized classes. Macintosh Consulting enhances career development, promotes relevance, and ensures quality delivery. Macintosh Consulting is located in Nigeria, Kenya, and United Kingdom. Visit www.macintosh.com or call 090-381-38550 or 081-409-84158. You can also visit us at 24 Bama Chili Street off Allen Avenue, Ikeja, Lagos.
Yomi Alarape, and I would like to tell you a bit about Rugby Business Solutions and Technologies. Rugby Business Solutions and Technologies has a vision to make the world a better place through technology, and that's what we live in and out as our culture. We start from Nigeria here. We have a crop of professionals who ensures that quality is ingrained in every service we offer. Definitely using IT technology to solve human problem and making life of everyone better. We do this across different verticals: healthcare, medical, oil and gas. I wait. It is time for you to transform your business, get the required insight, and take your business to the next level. You can give it a try by visiting our website at www.rugbysolutions.com/BSM.
Hello viewers, I'm the Operations Manager for Macintosh Consulting, and I am here to tell you about our second to none training services. Macintosh Consulting is a training firm that provides exceptional training services ranging from trainings, international examination and certification. With state-of-the-art practical facilities, versatile and certified professional trainers, and a well-conducive environment, we help our clients achieve notable landmarks by providing lasting solutions and development in every areas of information technology, business management, and finance to enhance their productivity. Our partners are Cisco, Isaka, EC Council, Microsoft, AWS, amongst many others. Macintosh Consulting offers services ranging from visual to classroom with both on-site and off-site trainings. Our client boasts of exceeding success all through every of their examination, and we are committed to creating even more successes. Our offices are situated here in Nigeria, Kenya, and United Kingdom. To know more about our services, visit our website at www.macintosh.com and follow us at Macintosh Consulting. You could also contact us through the information on the screen. Macintosh Consulting, shaping the future together.
My name is Temitope Aziz. I work with LASU CBT 18 as a test administrator at CCA. I work with Pearson V exams like Microsoft, Oracle, ITIL, CompTIA.
Hello, Fola Babalola is my name. I work with LASU CBT 18 as a corporate business development manager. Here in LASU CBT 18, we work with our customers to identify their training needs. We hereby recommend and offer the best IT training that can upgrade their staff skills and enhance productivities in achieving their corporate goals. Thank you for choosing us.
I'm Abdul by name. I work with LASU CBT 18 Limited. I'm responsible for the up-running of computers and the network. Thank you for choosing us.
My name is Miriam Nitu. I am the relationship officer here at LASU CBT. I basically manage the front office and the workspace. That is the LASU CBT workspace 18. We render services to clients who need to work in a serene and conducive environment during business hours, and our services are affordable and impeccable. Thank you for choosing LASU CBT.
Hello, my name is Bimbo Adeshese. I'm a business development person in charge of IELTS and cloud offerings. IELTS is one of the top exams for foreign education worldwide, and here at CBT 18 we help your journey from beginning to the end, from point of first contact up to the end.
Welcome to LASU CBT 18. My name is Oladele Ajayi. I'm the business development manager for the retail market. For LASU CBT 18, we're into IT trainings. IT trainings such as Python programming, web development, web design, Azure, cybersecurity, and all. Come down to LASU CBT. I'm sure you will enjoy yourself down there with us.
Hello, my name is MCTNAIJA-TECHUSERGROUP. I'm the peer-to-peer test administrator and also the social media platform manager. I would love you to follow LASU CBT on all social media platforms. Thank you for choosing LASU CBT 18.
Hi, my name is Kazim Adegwega. I'm the managing director of LASU CBT. What we do here is not just for the short term. So what we're doing here, our service offerings here, is for the long term. And that's why we're trying to build a team of high-performing individuals that love what they do and they would like to show up at work every day to give their very best.
As an intern at the last possibility, working with them has been so wholesome. I could learn digital marketing, good interpersonal relationship and teamwork. And I urge every one of us to also learn from every enterprise we find ourselves to be an intern.
So, and for young minds, students and interns that are looking for a place to learn skills, they can come here at Lazo CBT 18. Lazo CBT is the right place for them to
There's a lot going on at the moment. So if you're still on the stream right now, we have all the three tracks happening simultaneously. Data, M365, and then Azure. Let me bring in Gmo. So, what's your take so far? I'm sure I'm seeing stuff on Twitter and also on the WhatsApp pages. A lot of people talking about how the various tracks are going. I know Dara has already engaged you pretty much on how you got into technology, but what do you see the future of technology?
Whoa, the future of technology. Wow. So, before I answer your question, let me just we Africans love to ask questions of the question.
Yeah.
That's what we do. So
Yep,
I want to
yep.
ask you one question, and pretty much I would channel that to what the future of technology is.
Okay.
What? So definitely everybody has got one aspect or the other they want technology to solve. But what aspect of your day-to-day activity do you want technology to solve right now?
That's a very good one. Working for me, writing my code, or pretty much just yeah, that would be. I mean, I would want technology to do pretty much most of my my key day-to-day stuff. That's checking on setting emails, responding to setting emails in a particular way that I want them, and also making sure that my money is buying the right stocks and doing the right investment. those would be things that I would want tech to do for me like now.
Absolutely. For me, if I can get a technology that says, "Hey, you should eat this in the morning, and this is what you need to do," like basically organize my life for me the way I want it to, would so much appreciate that. And that's basically where the future of technology is going to pretty much help you in every day-to-day situation. You if, so it's almost like all the technology companies knew COVID was coming, but it was not that. It was just because technology organizations were prepared for just this moment. Nobody saw it coming. It came upon us just like a thief in the night, but we're all prepared for it. And that's basically what the future of technology is all about. Open organizations, open humans, open everybody, being inclusive. Everybody's winning, and that's where the future of technology is basically going to.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good one. It's and it's interesting to know that most technology or most tech companies are almost always forward looking. So
Absolutely.
they are thinking, those that were really positioned well, pretty much didn't feel it that much versus those that knew that they had to transition to technology at some point, but were maybe not yet, not yet. So when COVID hit, it was like, wait, we need to do that now. So you're really right. I mean, we're transitioning into an era where you can't afford not to digitally transform your business. I mean, you will be left behind, And then also this whole talk of the alternative verse or the omniverse or the metaverse or the digital verse, um that transition, what's your take on that? I mean, there's a lot of talk about what's your take on that?
So I would say we had a little bit of metaverse, and we all love to do this, where you have your avatars from your either your game or from your Xbox or whether from your mobile device. But now it's almost like what we watch in the fiction movies are coming to reality. Um, it had always been so. There's this little movie I saw some back sometime around. It's been far back. I can't remember the movie, but it's basically around hologram. I think it was Arnold Schwarzenegger that did that, and then
Okay.
yeah, and then they basically were trying to shoot at him, and he was just laughing like it's just an
Yeah,
hologram.
it's a hologram. Yeah.
Yeah, that fascinated me back
Yeah.
then. But now look at it. Here we have it. This is real. We have all of those as part of as the metaverse. Um, I think it's just a way to just make everybody inclusive, regardless of where you are. One thing we've all learned about COVID is we need each other to succeed. We need each
Yeah.
other around. We need each other to because we are all social animals. Everybody being individual where they are took a very big toll on everybody. So having that metaverse also gives that kind of feeling like, oh, I'm very close to this person. I can basically be anywhere I need to be.
Interesting. How do you think it's going to change the tech ecosystem? Like already there's a concern and the fear of the
Mm,
fact that AI and robots are taking over our work. Now there's this talk of metaverse or the
mm,
omniverse or the
mm,
alternative verse.
mm.
How does that even does it does it further compound it or makes it even much scarier?
So for metaverse, so I have this whole notion, and I'm just going to make a very simple illustration. So the area when we had facial recognition coming to the IT space, there was a lot of backslash. There was a lot of, oh no, the government are going to use this. They're going to identify me. They're going to do this and all of that. And basically, someone asked the question: have you ever lost a child in the airports?
Hmm.
And that's where you really get to see the value and really
The value,
appreciate
yeah.
facial
Hmm.
recognition. Because right from there, the camera can say, hey, at location A, B, C, this
Hmm.
is where we've seen the picture of this child.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's basically, and that's the same thing also too. Technology is there to up lives. The technology is there to, we can't ignore the fact that yes, some people can use it for malicious purposes, but it's basically there to up life. Yeah, and it depends on how you see it, from what aspect you look at it.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. I mean that's a good one. For me, I think it's this is the time where you get to decide your path,
Mm,
from now because we're seeing all the changes, and
yeah.
funny enough, I think yesterday I was reading a comment on one of the social media platforms, and there was a questing post to one of this very well-known technology enthusiasts here in Ghana. And like someone was asking, him what was his thought on this whole metaverse and this whole new
Hmm.
mixed reality thing. One of the things he said that I was really, enthused about was the fact that he was like, it is time for us to start creating our content in this dimension.
Dimension. Yeah.
We don't have to wait for it to take us by surprise. At least now we're
Mm,
privy to it. And I think
mm,
somewhere in the comments someone made mention of the fact that um why as Africans do we always get late to the game. And then his response again was, you know what, all these companies that are bringing up all these meta, all these things, there are Africans in there. Like talk of Facebook,
mm,
there are solid Africans in Facebook that are doing work or that are working on this whole metaverse. You look at Microsoft, there are Africans there, that are, digital twins makes reality, there are Africans there. And if you talk
yeah.
about the fact that the Microsoft makes reality engineering team ADC is in Nigeria, you know. So at this point, we are always preview to most of the technology.
Yeah.
And if we don't take the advantage, all right, that's when we're gonna it's gonna hit us in the in the behind. And that's something that I for me in the past couple of days on my streams, I've been advocating for, like, you know what, it's coming whether we like it or not. It's already started in different places. So you need to position yourself to know how you're putting your content out there, all right, on this metaverse or omniverse or whatever that is, because it opens up the opportunity for different skill sets and different people, right? From, graphics people, programmers, coders, animators, systems, and like pretty much everybody in there, because it's a whole digital representation of what we are seeing in the physical now. So it's interesting. So if you don't want to be left behind, I think the time is now to start picking, some one or two things in there. That's interesting. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
So talking about the Africans, you just said a while back. Big shout out to the guys in the ADC, the Microsoft folks, the ones in Nigeria and Ghana, for the work they do with the Microsoft Mesh, and then this basically creating all those metaverse and the rest. And basically, you have Africans all keyed into these technologies, all getting these technologies all right, and I don't think for us as Africans, we are late to the game. Yeah, we might have some environmental challenges not allowing us to really grow this technology the way we would like it to grow, but definitely Africans are always behind and always at the base of everything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We are. I mean, it's just that a lot of people don't realize that. Oh, just because we don't talk about it that much, there hasn't been for us, to highlight some of the, the cool people, and all the, big tech companies making the difference. But again, that's one of the things we hope to, achieve by bringing some of these technologies closer to our people through, events like MCT, cloud bootcamps, and
Absolutely.
so on. So yeah, awesome, awesome. And before we continue the conversation, again, I would like to say a big thank you to our sponsors. So a big thank you to Microsoft for being the gold sponsor for, helping us put this together. D Brown Consult, thank you very much. Hashem Technologies, Covenant Technologies, Jira, Chris Cloud, Logic Solution. Guys, you're amazing. Thank you to all our community partners as well, for making this happen. Without your support and without your contributions, we wouldn't have come, this far. And like I said, I mentioned, all the other tracks are happening right now. So if you're interested in the other tracks, for Azure is happening, for M365, and Power Platform, Data, AI, and IoT is also happening. A simple way to get to it is you can just go to the website, mctwestafrica.com, and then right on the page you'll be able to navigate and look at all the other sessions that's happening live. So if you're here, we'll entreat you to go join that session. Here is just for, commentary, looking at what people are saying on Twitter, us talking about, if just having general conversation on how things are going. Yeah, awesome. So yeah, let's go back to our conversation. So 3 days, right? So today, tomorrow, and Sunday.
Sunday.
I mean, what do you see? What are your expectations that by the end of this session? What are some of the expectations you're looking at by the time we finish this year's bootcamp?
Okay, for me, I want to win the Xbox. by end of by end of the bootcamp. Also, I want to just have a very good understanding of what technology has been all about. What are the updates to technology? Because one of the key differentiator between technology and every other field is just because as technology we keep updating ourselves. It's a moving train. It keeps moving every time you have new updates, you have new features, and everything rolls up into new products and everything rolls up into new technologies. Thank you very much, Razi from Abeokuta. We really appreciate you. Thank you very much, Olushogo from Oshogbo too. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming around. So as
Yeah.
I was saying, having a real good understanding of what all these technologies and basically now being able to choose a career from it. If you have a career, what's the next part? What's the future for this career? What's the future for this technology? And this basically all I'm expecting to see from the MCT Cloud 2021.
Yeah.
Pardon me.
Yeah, yeah. Same expectations here. This is one of the few events that sees the gathering of a lot of the or the sub regions, experts in different technologies coming together to share content. So, I mean, we're hoping to see a lot of people turn up, as the event proceeds, and also subsequently in various episodes of this event, because we can only help our own to grow to get to that point. We can't wait no longer from for whoever to to set the pace for us. We have to set our own you know pace. And then also would like to remind everyone here that, I mean, you can always watch the sessions, all the tracks again from the links that was saying, or you can just go back to the website mctwestafrica.com, and you'll be able to watch all the sessions again. It's going to be there on demand as well, for you to watch. But if you want to stand a chance of winning the Xbox, make sure you're registered. Again, go to the website https mctwestafrica.com, and then make sure you register. And once you register, for every session you attend, be sure to sending the evaluation or to filling the evaluation. It is filling the evaluation that enters you to a chance to win one of the Xbox that we have. Yeah. So that's just a couple of housekeeping. Again, once again, we're thankful for all of you joining. If you're here, you can make your way to all the other sessions that are happening live as we speak. Make sure you join. If you have any questions, yeah, you can throw them here. We will look at the questions, try to give you some answers as well. And if we don't have answers, hey, we'll go find the answers, and then hopefully we'll provide the answers for you, because that's one thing we need to know, that knowledge is like the baobab tree. I mean, one
Mhm.
hand cannot encompass it. I mean, we don't know it all. We every day is a
Absolutely.
learning process for us. We
Yeah.
pretty much share what we've learned, and based on some of the challenges and questions you ask us, we go back to find out, um whether we have to learn more to to share with you. Thank you very much, Emmanuel, from Apapa. Thank you for joining. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
you. I appreciate you a lot. Yeah. So yeah, we are just here having a cool time. I'm sure the others in the all the others in the other tracks are also enjoying themselves. We've been talking different technologies across the space, because this cloud bootcamp covers a lot of technologies, from Azure to Power Platform to M365 to IoT data and all that. We've been talking a bit about general technology stuff. We've talked about some Azure things, moved to the metaverse and the whole talk of the alternative verse. One thing I want to start to touch with to talk about is low code, no code, in precise, the Power
Mm,
Platform. Have you
mm.
experienced it?
Yeah. I did experience it. Um, it's one of the most amazing thing ever going to happen in the era of a developer or a non-developer. Ability to take just drag your cursors, and you have a well-written code and application written down for you. There's nothing more amazing than that.
Hmm. Hmm. I think a couple of days ago, I was having a conversation with a friend, and there was a question they posed that, do we ever think that the whole concept of low code, no code, and visual programming is a way to get people into tech? And I was like, yes, and specifically IoT. The question was, and I was like, yes, because there are a lot of people who have an understanding of what they want to do, all right,
Mm,
but having to combine that of coding to it makes it difficult. So for someone who knows that, okay, I want to achieve C, and I can move from A to B
A
by
to
just
B.
dragging and dropping to get there, that
Mhm.
makes it interesting for me. So I mean for me, all in, I think it's an awesome experience. And the fact that you can use a suite of products from Power Apps, Power Automate, and even Power Virtual Agent and Power BI to build, high level, AI driven, applications. And
Application.
it's just, yeah, it's just mind blowing, because you can pretty much or literally do things within a couple of hours, versus, I mean, think about trying to even build APIs to connect to Twitter or some other third party system, and that could take a long time. So I am also of the view that the more people pay attention to this, the better we can get at doing a lot of things. I was surprised that when Microsoft was, talking all this Power Platform, somewhere along the line, competitors also started releasing low code
No code, no
solutions,
code.
you know. So it looked like it was time for that idea of getting a lot
Mm.
of people on who are not pro developers, but as time goes on, also be able to fuse them for pro developers and and low coders. That's just my take on. I don't know if you have any other thing to share on specifically on that low code no code ecosystem or that movement.
I once used it to create an application. It was just a very simple application, but the good part about it was just it was seamless, and I did it under 30 minutes.
Mm.
Moved around the cursor, and I was able to get the file sent to me with a couple of emails I need when a particular storage is being updated, and that just made it very easy for me to build. I would have struggled if I needed to build a full blown application, and with all of the codes and everything. Probably be looking for Dara and the rest of the team to help out to help out with that. So I have a question for you,
Mm.
Samuel.
Yeah.
What basically got you into IT?
Oh, my story has. I think I've shared this a few times. It's an interesting thing.
Okay.
So I pretty much I keep saying that I think I was destined to do it, and I explain why I say that. So pretty much I was fortunate to have been the few people who, at a very young age, pretty much found a path of
Mm-hmm.
what I wanted to do.
Good
So
deal.
my friends and parents will tell you that even when he was growing up, he just kept to that thing. I'm not,
Mm.
the kids will say, "What do you want to be?" Today they'll say, "I want to be a pilot," and tomorrow say an engineer or something like that. But this is how it started. So I was born and bred or brought up in a services or forces barracks.
Okay.
So, and I say it this way, so it's an area in Ghana here where this is the military, like this side is the military, this side is the police, this side is like a special form unit for the police. So it was just kind of like a security zone, pretty
Okay.
much a barracks for and that's where I was born and bred because my dad was a police officer. And one where we were was actually the national police workshop. So, which meant that the whole of Ghana, the police services workshop, where they had the
Mm.
electricians, plumbers, gunsmith, blacksmith, pretty much that is where
Boy.
it was centered. The whole national one.
Okay.
So I grew up around, sport cars, sport devices, things packed all around where,
Mm-hmm.
kids to go play in there. And the common thing you do is you are pretty much going to take maybe bulbs and wires from, broken
Mm.
down vehicles that are just going to be salvaged for parts. And then
Mm-hmm.
you try to create things. So that, enticed me. So I kind of like grew up in that environment, you know. And I mean, as for my father's AM radios, I have messed up countless of them. The beatings I got and the whoopings I got to countless. It's just normal. And so that pretty much continued. So I
Boy.
was pretty much drawn to building stuff, doing those kind of things. And I was curious. I was a curious child. Like I would always want to know what's inside something that was making it work. I'll try to break it, try to figure things out.
Mm-hmm.
So I was naturally drawn to new things. So if I saw something that was kind of like doing something that I didn't understand, my natural instincts was I want to learn, or I want to know how
What to
that
do?
thing works.
Mm.
So fast forward, my dad was also into sports. He was the volleyball coach for the police volleyball team,
Okay.
and I mean they were unbeatable in the country for a long time. He knew they knew their stuff, but he went to play club championship. I think either in Italy or one of these countries. And if
Mm.
you're familiar with volleyball, they have a side out sheet which they use to, the coaches will be marking because of a side out on each side. They will use that to mark you blocked, you hit, you missed. So
It
it's kind of
makes
like a
sense.
statistics sheet where you can pretty tell like how your players are performing during a
Mm.
game. So he was used to his paper manual way of doing it. And I think that day his opponent was using a computer before he got
Computer.
to know what a computer was. So he described it as, this white, it was just this white TV like with a typewriter kind of thing. And so then it was best of five. It was, hey, Eddie from Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you. Welcome to the show. Hope you're having
Thank you,
some
Eddie.
fun. So unknown to him then, so then it was best of five sets. So he won the first two sets. He needed only one more set to get the best of three. But then he lost the last three sets. So he didn't understand what was happening. So after the game, pretty much exchanging pleasantries and talking about, then he was curious. So he asked, he's curious to know what that was because he hadn't seen this pretty much anywhere. And then he was like, oh, they're like, oh, that's a computer. I was like, let me, and the man was like, he said that the opener was, let me, fill you in a secret. Whilst you're busy, playing your first two sets and filling your form, we were keying it into the system. And then after the very first two sets, we were able to know your top hitters and your top blockers. So if you noticed, as you were siding out, we're making changes to counter your style of play. So he was like, wait a minute. So you mean this thing, after two sets, you were able to determine who my top hitters and blockers were. So you change your style of play to win. So he lost the battle and,
Boy.
and and then he wanted, it was like, no, I need to, I need some kind of revenge. And coincidentally, my school then, I was in primary 4. My school then had started computer classes. And like I said, it's a new thing, interesting. So I just wanted to learn. So I didn't know what. So just as he came back, I was like, daddy, they've started computer classes in my school. I want to learn. It's like, computers? To what computers have done to me, you need to go learn it. So there was kind of, that personal interaction with him. He had an experience with it in a manner which something he loved. So for ever since that time, pretty much they've been doing everything they'll do. I didn't have a computer when I started. I didn't have any. I think I got my first computer when I was in the university. So you can imagine. But pretty much that was how it started. And it pretty much pushed me. I started learning, started running QBasic when I was, very young and stuff like that. So that's how come, mine started. Quite interesting. And then this is how far we've come with it.
Awesome. Yeah. That's a very interesting story. Yeah, it's very inspiring. Pretty much, I think you're pretty much determined, and you basically know, hey, this is what you want to do, and this is where I want to belong. So if I may ask you, your very first Microsoft exam, how did you feel about it?
Oh, it took a lot of, I was really nervous. Like I was like, man, this is, when you paid for an exam, they paid for an exams, and it's kind of like your very first. You were no Microsoft wasn't my first. No, actually, Oracle was my very first professional exams.
Exam.
So
Okay.
I kind of had that feeling. So I was
That
like,
feeling.
this might be, and it was, I had to psych myself up a couple of times to, to do it. I kept postponing it, and then eventually I was like, you know what, I have to do it. And then fortunately for me, I passed on the first attempt.
Oh,
So that
great.
that was a good thing. And there's this thing that because I had experience from writing Oracle. That was, in the class, a lot of people would be like, hey, we need dumps. And I was like, and I am of the view, and this is my personal opinion, I'm of the view that, you don't rely on dumps, because I've seen
Stamps.
people,
Yeah.
go to different sites, or, get all these supposed exam questions and cram them and learn them and go, and, going to do that. For me, I didn't see that as, an option, right? So I will spend time burying my head in it, make sure that I understand the concept, because a lot of mistake people did when learning was just to cram things and go and learn. But for me, I was like, if I understand the concept of how it works, then it's
Yeah.
easier for me to deduce. Because even sometimes you get questions and you're like, because you understand the concept of how it works, you can use your own deductions and reasoning to answer the
Yes.
question. You're not necessarily based on, but if you have no knowledge or no understanding of it at all, then for some reason, if you go there and all your, your ABCs and your cramming, doesn't work out, then be found wanting. So I had to make sure that I was really ready to bury my head in all the studies to make sure. So for me, that's how it worked out.
It's whoa, okay. Yeah, I think for mine, I had my very first exam. It was the Microsoft Azure. I read about it, even though I pretty much was still a novice in Microsoft Azure and all of that. It was my very first exam. I to my best of my knowledge, I was like, hey, I'm just gonna kill this. I've looked at all of the documentation,
Yeah.
and there was still little documentation around Microsoft Azure doing that. It was still the early days of Azure. Like, okay, this
Those
is cool.
green books where you have
Absolutely. Now you
yeah.
get it. Those green books and those books are kind of like
Yeah.
Microsoft can't keep up with those books anymore because it's
No,
going to
no,
get
no.
outdated.
Yeah, this stuff. Yeah, outdated. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, before you publish it, the technology is already even
It's very
changed.
gone. Yeah, yeah.
So I basically looked at that and I was like, oh, this is all grand, and we're moving on with this. I got to the exam and I sat and I was like, yeah, it's 40 questions and blah blah blah. The first question threw me off my balance. I was like, is this part of Azure?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I basically just looked through all of that and did the exam to the best of my knowledge, and it was time to submit, and woof, I failed. I was like, no, I really prepared for this. This is not supposed to be so, and all of that. I went home a bit sad and the rest. I was like, oh, you know what? I think this is not for me. What do I need to do? Maybe need to look for other aspects. And few weeks after, I got a call from then Microsoft used to still use Prometrics.
Prometric.
I think yeah, they used to use Prometrics then.
Yeah.
I got a call from Prometrics saying, hey, we reviewed your exam question and you passed. And it was as if I was dreaming. Like, I did what? I did what? So apparently, I think what happened back there was because of the rate at which Microsoft was changing at that point, the exam was not updated at that same cadence. So some of the things I'd read through, some of the things I've seen, was still the other way around. Yeah, within the exam quest. So by the time they reviewed it, they were like, hey, this person passed. This is now possible. This is this. And since then, it has really been I just breeze into the exam question, the exam all these days. I'm like, you know what's there? Okay, this is what.
Yeah.
But that very first experience, no, it really threw me off my back. I didn't expect it.
Yeah, and I mean it's changed. I also remember when I started writing for my Azure certified architect, solutions architect. I mean way before they started all this. So I think for some reason I got this coupon to write all of them at once. It was discounted. And then I the same thing. I was like, what, I've been using Azure for some time now. I mean, yeah, I mean, I can just brush through this and go and write it, So I was just being, yeah. I mean, yeah, I should be fine. I didn't really prepare. I was just, counting on the fact that I've been using it for a while, but things have changed. So I went to write the first one, and then I thought, I was so confident, the fact I knew I had got all of it, and then I submit, and then I think the first one I failed with just 3 marks.
Whoa.
They needed 800, and I think I got 700 and 80 something. It was just 3, and I was like, no, like I was so I was just kind of like angry with myself, a lot of feelings I didn't know. So then, and the bad thing for me was I had scheduled all the 3 back to back.
Whoa.
So like in like a day, the day after, I was going to write the second one and I'll write a third one, and that whole 3 marks just threw me off. That I just I'm just going to write the rest no matter what, and trust and see the second and third one went through all of them. So then I was like, no, I mean, this is what happened, So I mean, exam stories are crazy, but then it started for some of us to start giving such feedbacks, that it really
Yeah.
wasn't, you know,
Yeah.
trying or testing you, or assessing you based on what you really learned. So
What you
I was really excited when it started the role based
role based.
certifications,
Imagine.
where
Yeah.
there's scenarios where you need to work them. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, yes, this is more applicable, and also the fact that this will eliminate or make it almost impossible for someone who really hasn't done it or used it to just go cram some dams and then go do it.
Dumps.
But
Mm-hmm.
it's yeah, so it's been good. But I mean, there's always that anxiety. I mean, till now, I mean, you feel some way when you're writing it, but
Yeah. You
eventually,
still.
if you if
You
you're
still
used to
do.
it.
You still do.
Oh
You
yeah.
still do.
Yeah, we have a
Ashep,
few people.
and one of our partners in here, Ashep, had been a success story also for me in writing
Yeah.
exam because of I really enjoyed writing exam inside of their data test centers. It was quiet, the AC was chilling, even though you'd be sweating though. Because the
Yeah.
questions are tough, but the AC was chilling. They had this little headset you could put on your ear, and it blocks out every
Yeah.
noise. And
Noise. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was really awesome. Writing my exams with Hashem.
Mm, mm. Awesome, awesome. Thanks for those that are just joining us. Thank you so much for joining. This is just the keynote and the shenanigans track or stream, where we're just pretty much redirecting you to the mainstreams of what's happening. So I've been told that I think uh the third sessions for almost all the other tracks are underway. So we have the data AI and IoT track, we have the Azure track, we have the M365 track. I think I would post that here again in the chat. So if you are interested in the Azure track, please visit the link which we're just sharing right now. Visit that link and then go to the Azure track. If you're interested in the Microsoft 365 and Power Platform tracks, make sure you look at the link. And also, if you are data, AI, and then IoT, check out the data track. So we're kind of like pretty much redirecting traffic to that side so you can go enjoy the session. So yeah, for us, we're just pretty much talking about experiences in technology, how we can grow and make things excited. We're just sharing our exam stories, and I believe part of the prizes to be won are also some discount vouchers for examination. So again, to stand a chance to win some of these things, make sure you're registered. Go to mctwestafrica.com, and then also make sure you register for the session, stay through the session, and at the end of the session, you fill out the evaluation form. After filling the evaluation form, you'll be entered into the draw to stand a chance to win Xbox, an Xbox, and then some other goodies. So make sure that you visit or you join any of the tracks, go through them, submit the evaluation, and then stand a chance of winning the Xbox and other interesting prizes. For us here, again, I'd like to say a big thank you to sponsors. Microsoft, D Brown Consult, Hashem, Combinant Technologies, Charis Cloud, Affiliate Solutions, Jira, Uber's Edge. Thank you so much, guys. You rock. You made this possible for us. And thank you so much to our community our partners and our organizers. You really, really made this possible. I think it will be good for us to give them some shout outs. Let's see if we can roll this out here. Just to say thank you to all of you for the awesome stuff we're doing for us. But then, well, we are just here, chilling, having some nice time talking about a lot of different things. If you have any questions, we'll be glad to take the questions for you. If we have the answers, we will give it to you. If you don't have it, we'll go research and come and give the answers. But don't forget to make sure you register for the event. Go check out the sessions and make sure you submit an evaluation. It's also the only way for us to know whether we're doing good, bad, or worse, or we're getting things done the way it has to be done. So, hey, let's hear what you have to say, and then let's make this thing blow out. Yeah. So back to us. Pretty much challenges. we can't do all these things definitely without setting challenges. So
Mm.
what I mean, from your view, what are some of the biggest challenges facing the continent and the sub-region when it comes to technology?
Well, to be honest, I think there are quite a few. I'm going to leave out all anything political out of all of these. And taking political out of this. But I think commitment to really help the ecosystem, commitment to help ourselves is really key to this. And when I say commitment, it means looking out for each other, making sure everybody's inclusive. It's one of the challenges I see in this. Making sure that yes, because I have the capability to be able to do this and someone else doesn't, you also need to add that person into your consideration. When I'm talking about this is look around you, you see a lot of people that needs IoT sensors, basically. And I've seen folks that basically would walk on the street, like they're literally blind. But basically they can walk and stop when there's a traffic light and stop when there's a bus. And that's the power of IoT because it projects everything down to them and can basically tell them through hearing aids, hey, you need to stop, you need to move. This is the reaction of the person in front of you, if he's happy, if he's sad. And that's basically all being part of inclusiveness. Putting other people into consideration. I think that's something we also need to look at more as part of this ecosystem and try to implement solutions regarding that. One thing I also have, and it's my own belief, one thing I also have is making sure that whatever you're putting out there is actually solving a problem, is actually helping people. And that's the very most important thing. That's why we're in technology, and that's basically the bedrock of what technology exists, solving problems, helping people solve problems.
Yeah, but then I know that we're trying to stay away from anything political, but then they have a role to play.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have the infrastructure to support some of these technologies you're talking about? For instance, power, electricity, access to internet. These are fundamental requirements to drive technology. So if the major players in the industry and know which is government is not putting things in place for us to do that, then it becomes a challenge. However, um, we can also say that because of these limitations, we will not innovate, we will not work on things.
Work on
It's up to
absolutely.
us to to work on it, and knowing that when these things are fixed or when these things get better, definitely whatever we are innovating will also be better. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I agree totally with you. We just have to do more. But what do you think is one of the reasons why, for some reason, it's difficult for stakeholders, especially government, to adapt and accept technology?
Well, you pretty much said it. From and I'm taking from your story. Your old man basically had to learn because of
Yeah,
a particular defeat at a particular game. But
yeah,
for you, pretty much easier because it was something you learned all through as you were growing.
yeah.
That's the same problem also to we're facing. They are not or will I say our leaders are really not seeing that real value of what technology really brings. They pretty much stick to their old school traditional way of doing things. But for us, we know, hey, you don't need to stress yourself. And it's some would say it's making us lazy, but at the same time, it's making us more productive.
But
To
yeah,
my own fact, and that's because you cannot start to think about other things you want to do. Why they are not adopting technology, it eliminates any form of uh, corruption, any form of not being transparent, and all of that are basically everything be taken out, and technology solves all those problems. It would allow you build on top of that, and at the same time being more effective and more productive. But at the same time, if they still want to have those kickbacks, it will prevent them.
Yeah. I mean, fast forward, okay? I think with all these things we're talking about, if we don't grow the next generation of community leaders or the next generation of leaders or innovators, definitely we're not going to get to the dream or vision we have for that. What do you see, when it comes to African communities, African technology communities? What do you see? How do you think we can grow them? How do you think we can, scale them up? What do you think?
To be honest, I think we in the diaspora, working with the big techs, need to give back to the community. That's the key fundamental. We need to give back to the community. We need to take everything we've learned working with the big techs back home and try to teach it to them. And one of the way of teaching it is this MCT, the MCT 2021 West Africa conference. And because that way you have had the experience, and then you're also now sharing that experience with them. You're also sharing that knowledge with the rest of the folks. Also, I think I'll leave it that way. Just not to digress into some other things. I'll leave it that way. But sharing back to the community, giving back to the community, sharing those knowledge are really fundamental to growing the ecosystem back in Africa.
Awesome. So before we do that, we have our watch parties happening live. We have feeds from Oyo State. We have Tabitha is on. So let's bring our watch party around the sub-region. So we have from the Digital Hall Oyo State guys joining us. If you can hear us from the watch party, if you can just give us a wave, and we would acknowledge you all. If you can hear us, I don't know, Thabita, if you can hear us. Yes, Digital Hall, you State guys.
I can hear you.
Awesome. How is it going down there? Are you guys having fun watching the different sessions? What can you tell us on the ground? Oh, that's a lot of people trying. I mean, these are some of the things we see that.
Fun here. We're learning a lot.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Any questions, any suggestions for us? As we are just having fun here. So if you have any questions or things to share, any questions for us?
Any questions? Okay, so we are here with our people. So let me just show you around, and then maybe one or two people will ask you questions, right?
Okay.
Sure.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
Hello. Wow.
Hi.
Hello.
I mean, people turn up to that. Hi, guys. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Hello, guys.
You guys have any questions?
Hello.
What? Okay.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
my
go
question
ahead.
is that can I have those videos that we are seeing other sessions after finishing the lessons, the bootcamp?
Yes. So the question is, yes, all the videos are going to be available even after the conference. So if you go back to the website mctwestafrica.com, you'll see all the videos for all the sessions, the keynote and all the tracks will be available for you to see them, including this one.
Okay, so what about that? Okay, what about those slides that Mr. Florence show us, and that of the other guy, the DG? I forgot his name.
Yes.
Those slides that they show us.
Yeah, the slides are also going to be available. So
how can we get those slides, sir?
All the content you're seeing on the show during the conference will be made available after the conference. So you can reach out to them. The videos will be on demand. The slides will be available. So just reach out to them, and then we'll give you access to the slides.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
My question is, hi. My question is
Hi.
for
Hello.
Power BI. Does it
Okay.
have compatibility? Hi. Compatibility,
So
like, does it work with Apple Pro?
okay. So I can speak for the power people because I got some insight there. Yeah. So I don't want to believe there are specific
Windows.
compatibility issues, all right? Because I have deployed or
Yeah.
used Power Apps on both on Android and iOS. But the good thing is that recently at Microsoft Ignite, they actually announced the ability to deploy Power Apps into native applications on iOS and Android. So you don't technically need to have
Oh,
the Power Apps application, and then you can open it. But right now, you can deploy it natively on both iOS and Android. So, to the best of my knowledge, there shouldn't be. But then I'll do some follow up, and then we'll probably relay with Tabitha, and then we'll get some more insights on it. But for now, I don't think there should be any challenge.
okay. Thank you.
Any more questions?
Thank you
Yeah.
very much. Yeah, actually, I have two questions. It's
Okay, go
concerning
ahead.
the SharePoint site. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can
Yes.
hear you.
Hello?
Yeah,
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 we
we
very
can
can
well.
hear
hear
Yeah,
you.
you.
the two speakers talk about SharePoint test site and Power BI. Now, my question is this: how do I get access to these SharePoint test?
Good question. So, there is, just a sec. So, let's see something here.
I think our folks. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Good.
So there are a couple of ways to get access to it. One of the easiest ways I know you can have access to some of these places and test out is what we call the Microsoft M365 developer account or developer program. So what you can do is that we will probably share this content. I'll share the content with Abita, and then she'll probably share it with you guys. You can go create a developer account, all right, and then that gives you access to use SharePoint, Power Apps, all those tools to create or to to learn or to create your own content. So you can start from there without having to pay any amount.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. Tabitha, we have to run from you and go all the way to the digital hall in Oyo State to also join that. Unless, of course, we can pick the last question from
We
Tabitha
can.
and then we'll move on
Question.
to.
Yeah,
Yes.
please go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So apart from we connecting to other people, what are the benefits we'll get? Like new beginners, what are the benefits are we going to get to including with other professionals?
So I would say that maybe JD should answer this. Try to maybe you should chip in here with what the benefits would be, for newbies going through this program.
So, one of the things I love to talk about it's around networking also too. You basically understand you've seen the paths to Azure, to M365, to data and AI and Power BI, Power Apps, and all of that. And that gives you a very good baseline to say, hey, this is where I want to focus on. The good part of it is you're not having all those knowledge to say this is where I want to focus on, this is where my career path should be on. And then basically you have all of these MCTs trainers you can connect with. You can connect with myself, with Samuel, with Sheyi, with Dara, and the rest. And then Tabitha can also help you connect back to us if you need more guidance and more specific channel to focus on.
Yep. Right. Yep.
Thank you, sir.
Awesome.
You're welcome.
So we're going to
Thank you.
cross. Tabitha, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm going to share the content in the chat
Okay.
right now that you
Okay.
can give to those who want to create the developer account. They can go to that site and use that to learn to create a developer account and test out all the things from Power BI, SharePoint, and all that. So
All right.
have
Thank
fun,
you.
continue with the session, and keep your questions coming.
All right. Bye.
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 All right, so let's go to the digital hall in
Oh,
Oyo
Oyo
State.
State.
Can you guys hear us? Can you guys hear us? They seem to be enjoying
Enjoying the,
the
the training.
yes.
Yeah. You're
They
really
seem to be
enjoying it.
enjoying, yeah. Well, maybe we'll cross over to them again and then yep, yep. Well, when they are ready for us, we'll probably, have them in. Yeah, so it's exciting to see, people pretty much, wanting to learn and share some of these things. Um, Honorable Dara is here. I see the little one. I have actually locked my little one behind the door so she can't get in. Because when she comes in, it's just going to be jumping all over. And I can see your mic is being hijacked. Don't worry. Very soon they're going to take over our studios and be doing things. It's all allowed. Part of, grooming the next generation of innovators and thinkers. So yeah, so we've been having fun here. We've talked about different things from metaverse, talked about things from Azure to certifications, how we got into tech. We crossed over, to Tabitha's watch party. I don't know if Oyo State is ready for us. Maybe we can bring them back on. But yeah, it's just fun. Yep. This is what we do. Day one, going very well so far. So yeah, pretty much. It's good to see people stay. I want to believe it's a bit, yeah, it's about 6 p.m. in Nigeria right now. So to see people, stay in and want to learn stuff, that's interesting. So Jimo, apart from tech,
Yeah.
what do you do? What do you do in your free time?
Ah, man. So that's a very serious question you just asked me. I love to play tennis.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've actually been thinking to go back to that. I used to play. I mean, not professional. I mean, I used to play a little when I was back in the States. But
Mm-hmm.
when I came back to Ghana, I don't know. Just the weather will not allow me to play it. I mean, I'm just making up excuses. I think I had to go back. But anyway, just don't mind me. Go for it.
Yeah, I love to play tennis. And also just love having little pick of reads here and there, things not relevant to what I do. Just check over the internet. I just start reading about things and start learning about different things, different from what basically I do on a day-to-day basis. But it's all good.
I know that the only thing I know apart from tech you do is saxophone. Is there any other thing that we don't know of yet? Because you're fond of hiding things in unusual places and then revealing them.
Well, pretty much, I think it's just tech and music for me, and of course, publicity.
The life we choose to live. The life we choose to live. Yeah. I find it difficult to answer that question because there is just a thin line between what I do as a career and what I do as a hobby.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, or fortunately for me, it's almost all tech related because if I say that, okay, officially I'm not going to do anything coding, and you jump onto 3D printing, that's still, you're
Mhm.
still doing tech stuff. But apart from all the gadgetry stuff, I swimming,
Oh.
I used to play soccer, but for some reason, and this is the weird part because I've had people who knew me back in the day when I was playing soccer and all that, like, what happened to you? Because I used to play soccer, but then for some reason, I just don't do it or follow it anymore. So when
Hmm.
people are doing Premier League and stuff, like, I don't know, maybe I got so much into tech that I just don't see it. Any other thing which is not tech related, doesn't entice me. But pretty much, yeah, if I'm not doing tech stuff, I'm probably watching movies. I like to do a lot of movies, like a lot of movies, like Netflix, watching stuff. Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, you have
Yeah.
a folks
Oh,
from Sulere.
we have folks, and I can see them in the low coders club t-shirts. I should have worn mine today. Don't worry, I'll wear it tomorrow. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Look, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
If you guys
Wow.
can hear us, just give us a wave. Let's know that you are there. It's been an awesome time. Just wave at us. this is interesting. This is really interesting. Yeah. Dara, what's your take?
I'll say this is really super duper cool. Like I haven't seen a conference like this ever before. Like
Yeah.
having different watch parties going on as the sessions are going on. It's just super interesting. As in, I'm literally happy right now. Like there's
Yes,
nothing that
there's
can contain
always
such joy.
there's always a first time, and I want to say that I'm glad and happy that we're pulling this off. This is the first time we're doing it. I think it's the first time it's happening on the continent.
On the
You know,
continent,
for
yeah.
for us to have different watch parties, and I mean, hey, we've just started it, and it's only going to get better and better and better. And that's why we need your feedback. We need your let us know how we're doing. So that we can make this better for all of us. That's amazing. I think we still have Oyo State there, but I think they are in a session. I want to believe they are in a different session right now. So we'll probably cross over to them once they are ready to to speak to us, and they will pretty much find out how they are doing. Yeah. Yeah. So far so good. Day one going well. What are we missing? What are people saying on Twitter? Let's see what people are saying on Twitter about us. Where is my Twitter console? So hold on. So
I
let's
can see a
see.
lot of streams coming in on Twitter. Yeah, keep your floats coming in. The pictures. Tell us what you learned today. Tell us what you enjoy about the trip, about each of those sessions. I'm seeing a lot of feedbacks regarding coding in the shower.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's pretty amazing to see how you could code from your mobile devices.
Yeah, bicep, and I see also stuff on biceps. Guys, let's get interactive. Connect with us connect with us on Twitter. Don't forget the hashtag MCTWAB 2021. Connect with us. Let's hear what you're saying. I think we should look at this, and I mean we'll take this back to our team. Maybe in next year's episodes, we need to start also looking at the highest tweets, people that are retweeting and tweeting and sharing. We need to give them something, because I remember yes, the hashtag like I said, hashtag MCTWAB 2021. I remember when I went to Visual Studio Live, my very first Visual Studio Live in Redmond, Washington, and there was a prize for the highest tweeter to win a free ticket and hotel, everything for the next years, and come and see me go, all crazy. I was just tweeting like a mad person, and lo and behold, I actually won that. So I got to go for Visual Studio
Whoa.
Live the next year, free of charge. I mean, everything paid, because I won that. So yeah, so Shay, the rest of the team, let's think about this. Let's also let the highest people to engage on Twitter. Let's give them something, you know. Yeah,
Yeah.
so don't forget the hashtag MCTWAB 2021. Use that. Um, uh, Use that, and then let's just get into it. So, oh well, what else are we talking about? We've talked about a lot of things. We've been going for 2 hours, 31 minutes, and 17 seconds so far on this keynote stream. A lot of action is happening on the other stream, and would then treat you. I think I'm going to paste this again. So we have this on the screen. I think I should probably do it one after the other, so that we can actually share this. Let's do this. Let me do this so we can share it for everyone to see. Welcome if you just joined. Welcome. Yeah. So if you are interested in the Azure session, right? You should go to what we're showing on the screen right now. So go to https://rebrandly.m/mctwa_Azure. Go to this one if you are interested in the Azure track. you should do this. And then if you want to also do the M365 and Power Platform track, visit this URL, right? This will take you to the M365 and Power Platform track. So let's do this. And then also, if you are looking at the data, AI, and IoT tracks, this is the link for you to go. But then, if you don't know, if you want to see everything or have access to everything all at once, let me put this here for you. You need to go to mctwestafrica.com. I'm also going to bring that onto the screens right now. So go to this URL, and then you actually can, see all the tracks. You can click on the tab to choose a track you want to. You can, do all that cool stuff you want to, do. So yeah, this is for all of you. We are just here, helping drive the conversation and direct the path. So make sure you're joining any of the tracks, and don't forget, uh, uh, connect with us on Twitter, on Facebook, on all the social media platforms, and make sure to use the hashtag MCTWAB 2021. I think let me actually bring that here as well. MCT 2021. So this is the hashtag we are using. Make sure you use use this, right? All right. So
Okay, I think
interesting.
we've got feedback from our folks in Surulere. I think they're here with
Okay.
us now.
Okay. Do we have? Okay. I think the feed went off.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's still Oyo State, but I think they are in another session. So bringing them in will just probably will distract them. So we can
Okay.
probably leave them, and then once they are ready, we can bring them back again.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. In the meantime, yeah, we're still here. Myself, Jay, Gmo, we're just goofing around, talking about you know our lives, how we want to retire early, and go enjoy
that's very
somewhere
important.
in Zanzibar, Namibia, all the cool places in Africa that have not been explored, so that we can leave it for the young ones to take over from us.
Mhm.
And yeah, all we do is watch, wake up in the morning and watch the stock trends just to be sure our monies are working for us. But I'd like to say a big thank you to our sponsors. I want to say thank you to Microsoft, to Deep Brown Consult, Hashem, Jira, Confident Technologies, Charis Cloud, AfriLogic, and Ubis Edge. Thank you so much for making this possible. Without your support, we would have been, we wouldn't have pulled this off. So we're really grateful for that. To all the organizers, thank you so much. Thank you so much for for all the good stuff you've shared with us. This is just the beginning of better, greater, and more interactive things to come. So thank you so much. Um, yeah, it looks like day one has not been bad at all.
Oh.
Very interesting. I mean, it's I think I'm excited. I'm excited about this, and hopefully, day two, day three, would also get better. Let's see, what's the feedback? Okay, Oyo State is waiting. Okay, so let's see if we can bring Oyo State back again.
Okay.
Yeah, so our friends in Oyo State, can you hear us? If you can hear us, just give us a wave.
I'm used to work with Coca-Cola Nigeria.
Can you
Okay.
give us a wave, our people in Oyo State, if you can hear us? I think you're still in a session, anyways. We will ping them again, but at least it's good to know that people in there, doing something that. I'm surprised to see, where is the watch party from Accra? Where is the watch party from Accra? Why haven't we seen the watch party from Accra? Else I'll go and shout at my people. We need to represent anyways. Yeah, so I think one of the things people don't realize when it comes to putting some of these things together is the kind of work that goes behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes, yeah.
There has been a lot of work that has been done, from there's a lot of work happening from from the technical side of things, all that. This is amazing. This is amazing.
Tremendous efforts put in place. And
Yeah.
thank you very much to all of the organizers, to all of the sponsors. We really appreciate you. We really appreciate the effort you're taking to bring up the next generation.
Yeah, awesome. Any last words before we close our session, because the others are going, so we can redirect everyone there. Any last words for us?
Well, you all go do great things. Take all the learnings from all the sessions from today, tomorrow, on Sunday, and use that, revamp that, and use that to build new products. Use that to help the technology get better. Use that to help the people get more inclusive, and basically use that to also enrich your life. Because we can't neglect that part there. Yeah, technology basically would help you with that.
All right, awesome. All right, guys. This is just starting. Don't forget, tomorrow and Sunday we're also on. We're going to sign off today for this keynote, but join us again tomorrow. The keynote will be here, and then you can join your other sessions again in the same links that were sent to you. Like you said, make sure you go to mctwestafrica.com, check out the sessions, register, make sure you submit your evaluation forms, and stand a chance of winning one of the Xboxes and all the cool prizes that we have out there. So without much ado, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you join the other streams and be back here tomorrow for the next dose. With that said, let's leave you with, let's be also thankful for some of our sponsors that, made this possible. Let's hear some word from them, and then we will sign out from here. With that said, have a wonderful evening.
Yomi Alarape, and I would like to tell you a bit about Rugby Business Solutions and Technologies. Rugby Business Solutions and Technologies has a vision to make the world a better place through technology. And that's what we live in and out as our culture. We start from Nigeria here. We have a crop of professionals who ensures that quality is ingrained in every service we offer. Definitely using IT technology to solve human problem and making life of everyone better. We do this across different verticals: healthcare, medical, oil and gas. I wait. It is time for you to transform your business, get the required insight, and take your business to the next level. You can give it a try by visiting our website at www.rugbysolutions.com/BSM.
My name is Temitope Aziz. I work with LASU CBT 18 as a test administrator at CCA. I work with Pearson V exams like Microsoft, Oracle, ITIL, CompTIA.
Hello, Fola Babalola is my name. I work with LASU CBT 18 as a corporate business development manager. Here in LASU CBT 18, we work with our customers to identify their training needs. We hereby recommend and offer the best IT training that can upgrade their staff skills and enhance productivities in achieving their corporate goals. Thank you for choosing us.
I'm Abdulkadir by name. I work with LASU CBT 18 Limited. I'm responsible for the uploading of computers and the network. Thank you for choosing us.
My name is Miriam Nitu. I am the relationship officer here at LASU CBT. I basically manage the front office and the workspace. That is the LASU CBT Workspace 18. We render services to clients who need to work in a serene and conducive environment during business hours, and our services are affordable and impeccable. Thank you for choosing LASU CBT.
Hello, my name is Bimbo Adefese. I'm a business development person in charge of IELTS and cloud offerings. IELTS is one of the top exams for foreign education worldwide. and here at CBT 18, we help your journey from beginning to the end, from point of first contact up to the end.
Welcome to LASO CBT 18. My name is Oladele-Ajayi. I'm the Business Development Manager for the retail market. For LASO CBT 18, we're into IT trainings. IT trainings such as Python programming, web development, web design, Azure, cybersecurity, and all. Come down to LASO CBT. I'm sure you'll enjoy yourself down there with us.
Hello, my name is MCTNAIJA-TECHUSERGROUP. I'm the peer-to-peer test administrator and also the social media platform manager. I would love you to follow LASO CBT on all social media platforms. Thank you for choosing LASO CBT 18.
Hi, my name is Kazim Adegwega. I'm the Managing Director of LASO CBT. What we do here is not just for the short term. So what we're doing here, our service offerings here, is for the long term. And that's why we're trying to build a team of high-performing individuals that love what they do and they would like to show up at work every day to give their very best.
As an intern at LASO CBT 18, working with them has been so wholesome. I could learn digital marketing, good interpersonal relationship and teamwork. And I urge every one of us to also learn from every enterprise we find ourselves to be an intern.
So as for young minds, students and interns that are looking for a place to learn skills, they can come here at LASO CBT 18. LASO CBT is the right place for them to.
For over 7 years, Macintosh Consulting has been empowering individuals, organizations, and government parastatals in information technology, business management, leadership development, and finance. Through our end-to-end training services, we help our clients achieve notable landmarks with our long-standing valued affiliate relationships with Microsoft, EC Council, CompTIA, PECB, Cisco, and AWS. Macintosh Consulting offers training and certifications in diverse areas like Network Plus, cybersecurity, cloud computing, project management, Agile Scrum, soft skills, amongst many others, with guaranteed to run classes, virtual classes, on-site classes, online classes, and customized classes. Macintosh Consulting enhances career development, promotes relevance, and ensures quality delivery. Macintosh Consulting is located in Nigeria, Kenya, and United Kingdom. Visit www.macintosh.com or call 090-381-38550 or 081-409-84158. You can also visit us at 24 Bamachili Street off Allen Avenue, Ikeja, Lagos.
Hello viewers, I'm the Operations Manager for Macintosh Consulting, and I am here to tell you about our second to none training services. Macintosh Consulting is a training firm that provides exceptional training services ranging from trainings, international examination and certification. With state-of-the-art practical facilities, versatile and certified professional trainers, and a well-conducive environment, we help our clients achieve notable landmarks by providing lasting solutions and development in every areas of information technology, business management, and finance to enhance their productivity. Our partners are Cisco, Isaka, EC Council, Microsoft, AWS, amongst many others. Macintosh Consulting offers services ranging from visual to classroom with both on-site and off-site trainings. Our client boasts of exceeding success all through every of their examination, and we are committed to creating even more successes. Our offices are situated here in Nigeria, Kenya, and United Kingdom. To know more about our services, visit our website at www.macintosh.com and follow us at Macintosh Consulting. You could also contact us through the information on the screen. Macintosh Consulting, shaping the future together.